Welcome back, everybody, to Blast the Process 2. We are right around 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York. And with me here, I have FroobMcGuffin, and we have Yakuza Kiwami too. How you doing today, man?
A little better than yesterday, but still a little sick, so you're gonna hear it in my voice a little bit, I'm afraid.
It's quite all right, quite all right. We're here for the gameplay, and these games do not lack that.
Nah, not wrong. Not wrong.
Right, so I'm personally excited to watch these Yakuza games. They are an absolute blast to watch. And, all that being said, if you have anything to say beforehand, go on ahead and count down the timer. I'll be ready.
Nope. Right, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna choose a slot to save in, and then the screen is gonna go back to the normal screen. Timer starts when the screen goes dark. I'll say when to go just in case anyway, but it's weird because we don't really have a go prompt unlike we do with the other Yakuza games. So let's start this up, and timer... No, hang on. Go. Right, so this is Yakuza Kiwami 2. If you saw yesterday, I performed with Yakuza 6, which ironically is the last game, or the newest game in the timeline in the series, but this is a remake of Yakuza 2, which, whilst technically being the second game in the series when it originally came out, is now actually the third game in the series. It's a little confusing, yes, but thumbs up. Most of the Yakuzas anyway, their plots are like... The plots are, like, kind of standalone anyway. The only, obviously, recurring theme being the characters, mostly, and then character interactions. So, one nice thing to note before we, like, go into this properly, Yakuza Kiwami 2 only came out in the West on August the 28th, and only came out in Japan last December, 2017. So this is the very, very first time that you will see Yakuza Kiwami 2 in an online marathon. So... many thanks to BTP for allowing me to show this off. But basically, despite the fact that it's the same engine as Yakuza 6 was, there's a whole bunch of differences that you'll be able to see during this that I'll go through when we get there. Basically, we're going through a few things at the start here. There's some flashbacks to Yakuza 1 that I won't spoil. And we're here with Haruka, who, if you saw it yesterday, she... very, very different and a lot older, obviously. And there's a whole bunch of recap movies here we can watch for the plot of Yakuza 1, but fortunately we can actually skip those, which is nice. And we get into this game's tutorial equivalent, which, compared to the tutorial of Yakuza 6, is awful. Because there's 5 dudes here, and there's more dudes after this, and they're a lot harder to manipulate their AI rather than with Nagi. So, as you can see, it's, for the most part, the same tutorial it's going to start off with, and obviously, it's a little different. You can see that guy's not dying. One of these NPCs doesn't die, because you can't kill all the NPCs in these tutorials until you've finished them. This is the annoying one. So, we have to hope that we get hit here, because half the time, as you can see here, the AI sometimes, you know, decides not to do it. And again, you're going to have to hope to get hit here, and evade out of the way. Excellent. So I'm going to charge up here. You can see that I'm charging up a punch. This is for the tutorial after this one. Bringing everybody back here. Excellent. Very good stuff. And then I'm going to grab this ladle here. Do a heat attack. And now we can finish off all the enemies. So, for the most part, obviously combat is going to be the same as Yakuza 6. But as you saw there very briefly, what we had was we had a charge attack. In Yakuza Kiwami 2, basically, we have charge attacks to go alongside our normal attacks. So by holding either the light attack on square or the heavy attack on triangle, we can build up an attack. And we're going to be using that in certain places, certain fights, especially to kind of animation cancel and kind of give ourselves some hyper armor and some iframes, which is really nice and really useful. So far, basically, plot-wise, it's starting off a year after the events of Yakuza 1, which I'm not going to go into too much, but the Tojo have a new chairman, Terada. He's been shot and killed at the graveyard that we were just at. Whoops. And basically, the Tojo are starting to get into disarray, because they've now lost 2, almost 3 chairmen, technically, in a small period of time. So, the interim head, Yayoi Dojima, who took over from one of the high-ranking officers who kind of died, technically because of us a few years back, but not us directly. Her son, Daigo Dojima, is being tipped to bring a little bit of balance into Tojo. So it's our job to go and find him. Now, you saw that I used the vending machines there, and you can see that there's different vending machines than in the Yakuza 6 around the place, which is nice. This is another tutorial. Wait on this guy, because for some reason you can't grab him straight away. Better to use a heavy attack, and you have to wait for these prompts specifically, because for some reason there's this weird little thing where they don't go through even if you pick the weapon up beforehand. You have to make sure you actually wait for their prompts. And then here comes a very, very, very big thing that is new to Kiwami 2. You may remember me mentioning in 6 yesterday that you can't grab weapons. Guess what's back? We can now grab weapons and store them. So the game opens up the menu. I can't go very fast in this until we get to this part. That guy is the one who doesn't die, so let's have this guy. Ideally, we want to try and limit the amount of uses of this blade for now, because we're going to use it in a little bit. But you saw there that it had 24 hits instead of the usual 3 from Yakuza 6. So they've basically worked out a lot of the things that they were having troubles with this engine. I'm going to run forward here quickly so that I don't hit his confirmation when we come out of this window. But you can also see we've got equipment. This is a red binding. In this game, there are set effects. Set effects will not feature in this run because there's not a good set effect that we can get. There's a nice cheap one you can get for having a set of red items, which include the red binding that we've just got given for free, and also one of the red bead rings that you can get from Don Quixote in about 10 minutes, but it's not as useful as one of the other items we can get around that time, so it's not really worth it. So one of the big differences from Yakuza 6 that you've probably already noticed is that instead of grabbing one drink from a vending machine, instead you buy them all. And that actually serves a purpose of being able to store a lot more of the attacking dice. So our options now massively increase. Instead of having to go to specific points to get unlimited stamina, we can have 10 unlimited stamina on us at a single time. That is absolutely huge and makes things go a lot faster. We don't have to put points into sprint upgrades, which basically enables us to use those points onto other things, including new moves in this that we didn't have in Yakuza 6. And I'm trying to go as fast as possible here because the drink that I just drank, the citrus cider, that's kind of a middle of the line attack drink. It's not the strongest, but it's not that weak. And the stronger attack drinks that you get, the smaller the time limit you have on them is. So ideally I want this drink to last until the start of the fight after this one. We've gone and found Daigo Dojima and his entourage. Daigo Dojima is a bit of a punk, and he's acting like he owns the place, so we're just going to teach his entourage a thing or two. Kiryu does know Daigo from a long time ago. This guy has the most defense out of all of them. He's normally the one to survive anyway. And you can see there that you can charge up. So, unlike 6, where you run and press triangle to do the charge attack, you now have to charge it beforehand. So again, combat is changed a little bit. And this is old Daigo. As we said, he's a bit young, he's a bit naive, he's a bit of a punk. And we're going to beat some literal sense into it. As always, one of the favourite things we like to do in the Yakuza games is bike strats. Grab a bike, hit the div of the bike, rinse, repeat. When Daigo stands up, when most of the enemies stand up, they will take a second to either dodge or guard. If they don't dodge like that, then they're going to guard. So usually you'll see me like take a second so that I won't accidentally hit and then hit their guard. This is a very good Daigo fight, actually. I wish I could get this in the normal PvP run. But most boss fights now end with this kind of variation of an extreme heat. You have to basically button mash to fill up the bar and then use a heat attack, blah, blah, blah. Always happens at the end of the fight. You can't preemptively have the bar filled up because it will always take the bar back to basically nothing. So it's a pain in the backside. I believe that having extra heat actually doesn't make that much of a difference because it's still the same amount of button presses with heat upgrades as it is without heat upgrades. So later on, if I do get heat upgrades, and that's something that I should point out, is this run is not that greatly optimized at the minute because this run is still only about 2 months old. so I'm still kind of like working through everything here or there. But because everything's not that optimized, you might see me like hesitate a little bit on some of my upgrades. We actually, I'll speak about the next one when we get there. But basically, we're going to take Daigo, and we're going to go to the game's second city, which is Sotenbori, over in Osaka. And if you remember me saying yesterday, during Yakuza 6, that we weren't going to hear much about the Omi back then, you're going to hear a heck of a lot about the Omi in this game. Because one of this game's main theme is East versus West. The Tojo versus the Omi. And that's going to come into play very, very rapidly here. So at the start here, we don't actually have to use any sprint drink because the trigger is right here next to this guy. The fastest text option for this guy is, I peacocked your mom. Huh? Not even joking. Grab a citrus cider, hit him with a bike twice, and it'll go down. Always nice when you can tell some punk that you're gonna peacock his mom, and then hit him with a bike. We meet a guy called Kurokawa here. He's the guy in purple. He basically is an informant. He's a hilarious dude. We can speak to him about stuff, etc, etc. Under that bench on the left, you'll have seen that shining object. That is a locker key. We're going to get into locker keys in the next, not the next chapter, chapter after this one. But you can basically get these locker keys around town. There's 15 Sotenbori, 15 Kamurocho. We will be getting certain ones because they are very, very useful. They essentially save minutes during the run. Some of the ones we'll be trying to get, some of them we won't be able to get. We'll basically just try our best. Random fight spawns play into effect with some of the key spawns, unfortunately. There's just some that we haven't been able to avoid. Again, much like the other Yakuza games, ideally you want to do a run without getting into any optional battles. You'll see some enemies come out of the golf center on the left here. I'm hoping I can get past these NPCs in time. Good. They were a bit delayed, so we didn't have to walk around. Kurokawa is basically going to get us a seat in the Grand. The Grand, if you remember the run from Yakuza 0 that I did last year for BTP, the Grand, this is the exact same map, and the Grand is the exact same club that Majima Goro ran, but it is now not obviously ran by him, it's run by basically somebody else, and we're just here to chill, get some info, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to skip a really cool story segment where we get introduced to a certain group of Omi individuals. These lads, and that guy in the back who you will see next chapter. But this is your first look at the Omi. We're going to lob this guy off the edge because he has the most defense and HP out of the lot of them. Then we're going to grab a citrus cider. And we don't want to use more than one in this fight because we want to save the rest for the next chapter. We're going to grab this guy if I can, and off the edge. So I was charging a heavy in case I had to attack cancel into a dropkick, but we didn't have to. And then we get introduced to Ryuji Goda. He is the head of the Go-Ryu clan. They're a high-ranking family in the Omi Alliance, and he's basically declared war on the Tojo and Kiryu himself. And as I said, we'll be seeing him real soon. But we're basically in Sotenbori to start a pact between the Omi and the Tojo. But Ryuji Goda doesn't exactly want that to happen, and promises that Kamurocho is going to go off with some fireworks, of which we're going over here now. You have to slalom past these NPCs at a bad spot, unfortunately, and the trigger for it is actually here, which is nice. But we go to this giant outdoor screen, and the Millennium Tower blows up. Ryuji's idea of fireworks is blowing up Kamurocho. So, like I said, you can't go through a Yakuza game without the Millennium Tower getting exploded in some various form. But we're going to get into our first set piece of the run in this next chapter. There is a cutscene here that introduces the Yakuza Huntress, a second police woman who goes via the name of Sayama Kaoru. Us and Daigo, we're going to go and meet with the head of the Omi Alliance, Goda Jin, Yes, Goda. He would be the father of Ryuji Goda. So you can already tell that things are starting to get a little tricky. That's Besho. He is the he's the head of the Osaka PD. He has heard word that former 4th Tojo chairman Kiryu Kazuma is in town and wants Kaoru to go and basically bring him in. If you get too close to NPCs or like walls like that, you will start to stagger a little bit and get delayed a little bit like I did there. But this place is meant to be like a maze shape so that like the Omi's enemies actually get lost during it, etc, etc. So we're having a nice little meeting, you know, we're having a bit of a back and forth, and oh hey, guess what, Ryuji's not going to take this lying down. So Ryuji takes the old man, and we're going to have to get him back. So here comes the Goryu clan. Again, I'm going to use some Central Cider. It's very important that we take care of enemies very quickly here. And more importantly, we're going to stack some weapons. Ideally, I want the wooden sword there. And then we can use this dagger to hopefully hurt these guys quite quickly. Next wave is going to spawn. I want to aim for the big lads. So we're talking this guy. Hitting multiple enemies is really nice. Semi-chargeable dropkick there. Attack. Full Central Cider left, so we'll basically be leaving most of the Central Cider until the end of this chapter. The light attack actually fills up a lot faster than the heavy charge, but it doesn't do as much. It's very important that we grab a wooden blade from this fight. You can have it accidentally break if it collides with another person on the way down, which is unfortunate. If it does, there are ways to get around that and get another one later on. So again, I'm going to charge up a heavy attack as we run around here, because then this is our new running strong attack. Or not, it's a dropkick, because I got delayed there. Nice. So we're just going to hit these guys all ways. That's real bad. That is real bad. We're going to now change to White Soda. White Soda isn't as strong as you'll see on some of the strong enemies, like the guy behind me. Or not. He will, because he's not dying as quickly. I love that sword. I think it may have just glitched into the room, unfortunately. So that guy behind me should have some HP. Switchblades are okay. They're not that great damage-wise. Also, because of the new advances in the engines, we can actually take weapons with us through doorways and up ladders. At least as long as they're one-handed. I'm actually going to lob this switchblade here, because it's not that great for these guys. Instead, we're going to grab this big giant pot, swing that around, and hopefully get a majority of them. And then we move away. This guy is a little stronger than this guy. Actually, I want to be loud for this next part. So you're going to see me charge up, because what we're going to do here is there are knife throwing guys like this guy, knock him out with one punch, and then we're going to run into kick, charge up light, so that we can use that to basically hyper armor through his attack. And this is going to be very important for these Sofa guys, because unlike the older Yakuza games like Yakuza 0, where we had a move, a heat move, where we could heal them, we don't in this one. So again, just charge up. You have a nice kind of like buffer period with that. You don't have to. You got like a few frames to be able to actually use that. So the danger is the guy at the back hunched over. He has a knife. We're gonna let him hopefully come forward and drop multiple people. But again, that didn't go too great. You saw in Yakuza 6 yesterday that throws were quite strong. They've been nerfed a little bit in this one. They have been nerfed a little bit in this one. We're not going to grab that. Instead, we're going to go around here and we're going to grab this blade on the left. It's got 24 durability to it, and it's got a decent attack for the early game. So anytime you see me glow blue like this is when I'm charging up an attack. Just hopefully, it never usually hits me, that's a shame. Hopefully I can get a running kick on this door frame, because that does all three. In the right, in there, is a golf club that has decent attack damage, but actually it's kind of bad. My attack buff ran out. That's bad, actually. Try to dodge manually. You can dodge it manually, but it's a little tricky. It's my fault for not paying attention, unfortunately. So here comes a kind of mini-boss. He's not actually that strong. We're just going to grab one of the pots on the side of the room and hit him with it. 3 hits, hopefully, to kill him. Fortunately, the first hit does stun him. That's fine. Nope. Have a lamp bounce off a head. Yep, that's fine. Oh. I always go the wrong way. Always. Like, every time. An amber. And now we get the final part in the lobby. We're going to be jumping onto that chandelier to take care of these guys. Now, that guy in the middle is actually very important. Notice that he had a gun in his right hand. If there's one thing that has been dramatically nerfed in this game compared to Yakuza 6, it's guns. However, we are going to need one single handgun bullet for about the 3/4 mark. So we're going to have to grab a handgun from these guys, because this is the best opportunity to do so. About 10 chapters ahead of time. If we don't get it straight away, that's fine. I'm going to try and grab this plant. Try not to grab the fire extinguisher. I will try and take care of this guy with the plant. He's not obviously #1 priority, because you can obviously just use the technique we've been using beforehand. That's pretty good. I was hoping not to break his sword, but using a weapon does actually break it. I'm going to take this one for safety. Considering it's a marathon run, and I might need a second one just in case. So, last 3 guys before the end of this place. Obviously, we got back to Jin Goda. Hopefully, I can get the sword off this guy. That would be nice. Nice hitting break. You have to make sure that you actually put it away if you want to keep it before the fight ends, because otherwise, you won't be able to actually put it in your inventory. So, you want to see more Ryuji Goda, huh? Here's the big man himself. He is an absolute unit. He is basically second in command of the Omi. He's obviously the head of the Goryu. We're going to place some of our weapons that we just got on. We're going to put on our strong attack drink. And then hopefully get the right attacks. Move forward a bit so I don't miss. That also doesn't help. Thanks, Ryuji. He, as you can see, because he's quite a large lad, has hyper armor. So when he gets down to this, I missed it unfortunately. I tried to get the heat attack off. You've got basically like a 2-frame window. If I could get the heat attack off, it would stop him going into heat mode, which basically means his defense goes up and he gets stronger. This is a bad Ryuji. Ryuji can troll you. This sucks. If he does, we're just gonna have to actually play a little bit. You can see how little damage we're doing because my drink ran off. So let's reset the server up. This is why I wanted to keep an extra sigil side just in case I'm not so he's gonna grab us. Not apparently. Nice. Bad timing on my part. Normally he's dead at this point. Normally he's very, very, very dead at this point. There we go. Very, very, very bad Ryuji Goda. If you don't have any wooden katanas in that fight, on that part of the bush and on the opposite part of the bush, there are actually bamboo sticks that are hidden in them. They act kind of like tonfas, so they're not exactly great, but they do help a little bit. You'll see that I'm saving here. Here's the weird thing about this game compared to Yakuza 6. Despite the fact that Yakuza 6 is 2 years older, Yakuza 6 has autosave. Yakuza Kiwami 2 does not have autosave. So, as a just in case, I will probably start saving after every chapter. Just in case. Especially after we've done like a good chunk, because like this chapter coming up is kind of a shorter chapter, or kind of a longer chapter. But the nice thing is, we got a lot to do during this chapter. Basically, Ryuji ran off with Jin, and Kaoru basically arrested Kiryu to protect him from the Omi, and then gets shot. So we're gonna have to go around Sotenbori to a bar that she mentions called Aoi. A-O-I. I butchered that pronunciation so badly, I apologise. And what we're going to do on the way, we're going to time power for unlimited sprint. We're going to grab fresh drinks here. And we are going to pray that we don't get a enemy spawn around the corner. We don't need any of the white soda anymore, because in this chapter we're going to be getting the strongest attack drink in the game. It is no longer muscle soda. Okay, so there was an enemy spawn, so we're going to have to be a little creative here. Nice. So, by interacting with any elements on the map, vending machines, hidden items like that, you can basically de-aggro enemies. You can't despawn them, unlike vending machines, but you can de-aggro them. So by picking up that silver plate, it basically de-aggroed them just as the fight was starting, like we got there just at the perfect time, so that they wouldn't actually get into a fight with us and lose us about 30 seconds. So, it's nice because obviously we've got the locker keys around, but there's some really nasty spawns in this one compared to 6. There's probably going to be a spawn around this corner. Hoping there isn't. There isn't. Nice. This one, there's usually a spawn along here at some point. You'll probably see it later on as well. There was no one up top. I should have gone then. I should have used this opportunity. Oh well. Go later. Go later when we're on a short time limit. So, we now know where Ao is. We're going to take Kaoru there. We have to carry her. Now, this will come up a few times during the run. She has a HP bar and you can see it's going down. If we bump into any NPCs, if you look on the mini-map, there's a purple dot, which is that lady there. If you get close to her, she'll start talking. If you bump into any NPCs, Kaoru's health will start going down even more. She has set dialogue lines at certain periods, so you actually want to basically try and not hit people as much as possible. You can hit people 3 times. And you don't want to hit this guy. Any of the purple ones you don't want to hit. Later on there'll be more obstacles as well. Your stamina is being used at these points, so you do need to have a Poseidon power on. Otherwise you are going to run out of stamina. And you'll see a bit more of that later. So if you remember when I ran Yakuza 0 last year for BTP2, we had a time-wasting period where we were able to move the time forward by doing certain activities. We're now in a time-waiting period here, but because we're in a new engine, that little bit of speed tech that we had no longer works. So instead, we're going to have to get creative. Fortunately, in this time-waiting period, there's actually just enough time to do everything that we need to do. So we need money, we need equipment, and we need it now. We're going to go down here. There's an underground casino here, but we want this locker key. More importantly than that, we're going to need 100k yen in this chapter, and we currently only have about 20k. No enemies, good. That means I don't have to despawn anyone, so we should be good on time in this chapter now. We're going to go into this room here, even though we go into here later on in the run, because the silver plate we got only sells for about 10k, I think, whereas this one, the platinum plate, sells for 200k. That's all the money that we need during the run. So this is like the perfect time to pick it up. We're going to be getting a phone call probably as soon as we leave here. Having it this late is good. That means we're on a very good time. We're going to go down this alleyway here. We're going to grab this locker key. And we're not going to get the locker keys just yet. We're going to be getting them in this chapter, but just not now. So you will see what we get from these in a little bit. We're going to take a taxi over to Bunzimon outside the mall. We want to go and sell this platinum plate now, whilst we're on a time period. There's one more key I would like to get if there isn't an enemy spawn there. So keep an eye on the mini-map on the bottom left. I'm basically looking up towards the river. And I'm hoping that there isn't any red arrows there. There's not. We're going for it. That's perfect. Two opportunities about them. Okay, the enemy spawn there is not good, but hopefully we can de-aggro them here. Hopefully that won't be a problem. This key is going to get us a weapon. They're still there, but they turned around. Please don't notice me. Yo, sick. That's really good. That is really, really good. So now we're going to go over to episode pawn. I'm actually going to despawn them so that they're not behind me when we come out of the pawn shop here. Pawn is in P-A-W-N. I know it sounds like I'm saying pawn as in, you know, haha. I'm here to sell. We're going to sell a platinum plate. I can sell the silver plate as well, so I want, but again, we've got all the money we need now, so we don't actually need to sell it. And actually getting the silver plate puts the platinum plate in such a perfect menuing position. It's so nice. And then we're going to go over to the top left part of the map, because we're going to need to go to the pharmacist in a second. This is the phone call that allows us to go to the pharmacist and pick up a key item. The key item doesn't spawn until you get that phone call. So we've lost a little time because we go up and get the locker key that I just got now, but this is the one and only perfect time to open up the locker keys all at the same time. So this time that we've lost getting the phone call a bit later will be saved by getting this locker key content now. These guys should despawn when we speak to the pharmacist, so there's a lot of NPCs in the way, unfortunately. So we're going to grab some toughness Z's as a just in case. This run does get a little dangerous, not gonna lie. Not as bad as Yakuza 6, but it is still a little dangerous. And the bandage is what we need for Kaoru to treat her wounds. But that's basically everything done just perfect. Like routed absolutely just perfectly in time. Sometimes you won't get the locker key that I got at the end there, because there will be enemy spawns in the way. If there are other opportunities to go and get it, but you will lose time to going to the locker keys later on. So being able to do all of those in one go now is absolutely perfect. Oops. Sorry, cutscene here happens later in the chapter. Haha. So, this is the mama of Kaoru, or the bar even, of AoE. She's technically Kaoru's mother. She's not Kaoru's biological mother, but has been looking after her since she was a kid. We gotta go meet with an information dealer, who is at the Mahjong parlor. So we're gonna taxi over there. There's a lot more taxi points, you'll notice, than there was in Yakuza 0 when we did this run last year. And also the position of some of those taxi points have changed, which is very annoying. Having to relearn two different taxi lists for the same city in different games is a little frustrating. Sometimes, as well, this guy doesn't load in to talk to. So we can't get into the Mahjong parlor until we have a peerless Mahjong tower. We've been told that there's basically these Mahjong legends, and one of them is hanging out at the UFO catcher. If you, again, remember the Yakuza 0 run from last year where we had to go and get something from the UFO catcher, we're going to have to do it again now, but fortunately, just like last year, we can actually fail it. I need to be very careful when I put on a Poseidon pan now, because it's ran out. I'm getting so little enemy spawns, it's ridiculous today. You see there's obviously a whole bunch of different arcade games in here. New to this is Virtua On, as well as Virtua Fighter 2. For the UFO catcher, you can just hit circle and just, oh well, we didn't catch anything. Never mind. But Virtua Fighter 2.1 and Virtua On in their entirities, which is absolutely fantastic. There's a fight spawn to my left, which is fine. I'm surprised I didn't actually see it. There's a slightly better taxi spot to get to for this one. It's a little further down the menuing, so I'm just gonna go to this one because it's literally right there as well. It's like 3 seconds away. I do need to learn where that taxi is though. So, remember when I said that Citrus Cider wasn't the most powerful attack drink in the game? I picked it up. It's called Muscle Soda. You saw me very briefly pick it up from the green vending machine. Allow me to demonstrate. These guys that would normally take 2 hits to kill with Citrus Cider, they're all dead now. Muscle Soda is out and out the best attack drink in the game. It gives you, I want to say, a 60% attack buff, but I don't actually know the exact numbers. Unlike Yakuza 6, it's strong. The downside to it, is that you have to wait as well. It's weird because you have to wait and delay your menuing whenever you go into a menu when you come out of one of those. I should put that new katana. You can see that, oops, unlike the katanas we got earlier, it actually has 36 durability. Same attack, but actually a lot of durability, which is nice. But basically, Muscle Soda has a massive drawback to it. And that is when you hit any enemy, there is huge knockback. We're talking, if I was to punch someone here, they could go to like the outer edge of the riverbed here. It is absolutely huge knockback. So in fights from now on, that's a bad enemy spawn. I have to hope, because here's one other thing that's like a big difference. One big difference in this compared to 6 is that you can't attack as soon as you start getting into a fight. So in order to kind of rectify that, the enemy triggers are actually slightly further out. So unfortunately, you get into fights a lot easier in this than you do in 6. It can be hard to dodge some of these optional fights. But yeah, basically we've got most of the equipment that we need. We've got a blood-caked chainmail that increases our attack by, I want to say about 30. Does reduce our defense a little bit, but does also increase our heat gain rate. It's the same blood-caked chainmail that we got in Yakuza 6. There is a bloody fundoshi, but it is almost impossible to actually... Like, it's damn near impossible to get in the run. And there's much better equipment as well. But again, a lot of the really good equipment and good equipment sets are like end-game, post-game content. So you won't be seeing any of those equipment sets in this, unfortunately. So we're here to get the info that we need. Unfortunately, this guy won't sell it to us. Isaki, his name is. Even though we gave him 100k. So we're going to go to Kurokawa, see if he can help us out. These hitboxes, though, sometimes. Those hitboxes won't be existing there in a few minutes, let me tell you. So we're gonna taxi back over to Bunzamon Outside Mall. And you can see what I mean about Yakuza 6 yesterday being more of a kind of a boss rush. Like, every 5 to 10 minutes, you always had a boss to fight. Whereas this one is a bit more, like, paced out. But that's because it is based on... It is literally Yakuza 2 from the PS2. So, for better or for worse, you still have... Do I despawn? I despawn as they're walking towards us. Oops. Just to be on the safe side. You do have the same limitations, obviously, of Yakuza 2 from the PS2, storyline-wise, but... And obviously game design-wise, but obviously it's been way updated into a new engine. There's a whole host of new things in this new engine compared to Yakuza 6. So obviously you can see that we can store equipment now, which is so nice, like weapons and stuff. All weapons have different power, etc. One nice thing as well about weapons is that they have different status effects. So certain weapons will have imbued with fire, so you can burn enemies. Some will have, obviously, electricity for stun. You can stun some enemies normally, blind some enemies, etc. For the most part, they won't come into the run. I hate this door so much. If it shuts on you, you have to wait until you either open it or can jimmy it open a little bit like that. Gotta go back to the Mahjong parlor. I like running it here because usually there is an enemy spawn here, but you can get past it for the most part. And it's going towards the shop, by the way. Oh, sorry about that. Me old wintry flu is giving me some problems there. So, Saki's not taking kindly to us, so we're just going to hit everyone. Muscle Soda up. And I absolutely hate all of the weapons. If you remember me moaning about the blast tools yesterday from Yakuza 6, every weapon in here has the exact same kind of attack like that. They are annoying and they're awful, and it's... Blah. Yeah, I'm good. I just had to take a quick drink and cough a bit, so I had to mute my microphone. So basically, Ryuji Goda has a few underlings at his side. A couple of them you'll meet later on. There's a whole bunch of stuff going down behind the scenes, which I don't remember right now, so my apologies. But what we're going to do here is going to grab our Poseidon Power. We're going to run down here. There's probably going to be an enemy spawn, if I had to guess. There is. I will take this opportunity to despawn them and just re-get some of my drinks. The grape drinks in there are also good for attack. They're kind of middle of the road. They're not awful, but they're not like amazing like Monster Soda is. And oh hi, goodbye. If you remember my run at BTP last year, for Yakuza 0, there was a period where I said for 3 minutes, go and do your own thing, because we had to manage a hostess club. Hey, guess what's back? Yep. Whereas last time it was Majima who was the host, this time it's Kiryu. And again, you can see by the timer at the top, if we interact with this in any way, it's actually slower. So, if you want time to get a drink, go and use the lure or anything like that, grab a snack, now is the absolute perfect time. We're just going to be sat here making some very happy customers. This is how you run a successful cabaret club. I showed you last time, I said it was the way you do it, and hey look, this is the way you do it. The cabaret club itself, it works exactly like it did in Yakuza. You have, obviously, your platinum hostesses who are your good story ones, they're the best. There is actually a rank above platinum for a very special hostess in this one as well. Then you have your bronze, your golds, your silvers. Fever Time bar at the top left is split into 3 levels. If you get it up to level 3, you can actually do a really, really strong kind of fever mode, which level 1 affects 2 people, level 2 affects 4 people, level 3 affects everyone, and it makes everybody happy and splash cash. There are also new elements to this. There's an oil baron, sometimes will appear. He'll give you a whole bunch of money, funds up, etc. And yeah, it's just basically an extension of the cabaret from Yakuza 0. It carries on that storyline a little bit. It's really cool. It's really good fun. Still has some awesome music. Very nice. This is literally the best cabaret club ever. But yeah, for the most part, obviously, the game is, storyline-wise, a one-to-one remake of Yakuza 2. So if you've ever seen Yakuza 2, you'll obviously notice some set pieces and some stuff later on that are exactly the same. I'm going to mention the word tiger now. You'll see what that means later on. They might not be having a good time, but I'm saving them money. Because instead of having to spend like 200k on a hostess, I'm showing them the error of their ways. We're running a very well uptight and legit business here. But for the most part, this is obviously the same. Being in the new engine actually helps in a lot of ways. Much like Yakuza 6, all cutscenes are skippable, which is fantastic. I don't know actually what the average runtime of the OG Yakuza 2 was. Because I don't think I've found somebody who speedran it, so I can't really like say whether it's actually better or not. My estimate for today is a 3-hour estimate for this. However, my PB for this is a 2:38. You might be wondering why that estimate is so high. It's because the route is still quite new, and there's a lot of opportunity to mess up quite badly, very, very badly, very, very badly. But we overhear Kaoru talking to her mother, about how she knows, you know, we're ex-Tojo, etc., and that she's basically telling us. Actually, is my PB a 238? Yeah, it is. Actually, it is. Can't remember. So the actual any percent for this is actually quicker than the 80% for Yakuza 6, which is nice. Even though there's way more filler in this one, as you will see during points. Chapter 5. We basically take Kaoru back to Kamurocho. She basically needs a wee bit of shopping. So, or is that the next chapter? I think that's this chapter. It's gotta be this chapter. It is this chapter. We're gonna go to Don Quixote. Basically, Kaoru, she's passed out from exhaustion. We basically need to go back to Tojo HQ. We need to report back on basically everything that happened with the Omi. Obviously, Ryuji Goda taking the Omi chairman, etc., etc. Daigo unfortunately got his pride hurt a little bit. He spawned these guys. These guys like to spawn here a lot. I'm gonna do that. So I'm 100% gonna have to save after this chapter. There are certain points in this run where I have had the game soft and hard lock. A bit of a weird thing with this engine, but whatever. So basically, it's all hands on deck after basically Ryuji declared war against us, and basically Daigo's a little reluctant to take over the reins. Terada left behind a key for his death, about to open this storehouse if ever there was a problem or if things were going south. So we're going to go over here. We have to speak to this guy first. And then this bullhead that Terada had installed actually has a keyhole. Keyhole opens up a secret room. Inside the secret room, we're going to grab a few things that we need for the run. Not that, but that's actually, that will save us from dying. This. The Demon Fire Dagger. Which, if you've been paying attention in the past, you'll know that belongs to. Did I pick up the wrong channel? Oh, okay, so I basically picked up everything when I shouldn't have, but whatever. The Demon Fire Dagger belongs to a certain ex-Tojo individual. Someone who you saw last year. Actually didn't see yesterday. But we're going to go back, basically back. We think that he is, or no, we know that he now runs Purgatory, which is a place from Yakuza 1. It's like a deep underground kind of, I don't know how to describe it very well. It's like a deep underground hidden kind of like base. The two things I just had there gave us a bit of green and purple experience. I don't have enough for that. That's unfortunate. Do I want to attack? So you can see that I pumped a bunch into attack. I'm going to equip the katana we just got because it's very, very strong. I'm going to attack this guy. We're doing just over 1 HP bar of damage with this katana, which is perfect at this point, as you'll see in a little bit. Purgatory is a place that's kind of hidden below Kamurocho. It's an old, abandoned subway station that got flooded. It's a place for promiscuous, wealthy, rich males. Let's just leave it like that. You'll see that place a lot in the Yakuza series. But we're basically going to go back there. Kaoru's woken up and is not happy that Kiryu basically went off, like, on his own, not in police custody. And she then says, you know, I need a beer and I also need some underwear. So we're gonna go buy those real quick. This would be where we pick up the red bracelet if we were going to equip that set. Instead, we're just going to use the malt. And we'll get the key item for women's underwear. Again, that's one of those you can't grab ahead of time. You have to have that conversation with us when it spawns in. And we're going to head over to Serena. You remember Serena from yesterday. Ooh, that was a bit tight. That was almost a very big problem there, but fortunately we can get to those vending machines just in time. We've also been dodging sub-stories and stuff so that we don't hit extra triggers that make us take a little bit more time. You know the deal. So we're now going to go, we've basically like recapped everything to Kaoru. We're going to go to Purgatory. Do I have some power on? I should do, right? Yeah, I do. I actually should have equipped, because I'm an idiot, my chainmail, which ups our defense. which we actually kind of need a tiny bit of, because the Blood Cake Chamber took it away. So, we get a letter from old Kamaki. If you remember Kamaki, he is the old training instructor from Yakuza 0 from Majima. He's been a long time instructor for Kiryu, and he basically wants us to go and meet with him. He teaches us in this game the extreme heat that we had in Yakuza 6, that we basically used a lot with, and basically like could survive in. We're not actually going to pick it up in this game, because weapons are disgustingly overpowered. We actually, with the extreme heat, we had routed it in runs here before, but we decided to try without the extreme heat, and we saved 6 minutes. So, extreme heat is actually very, very slow, rather than just pumping it all into damage, as you do. So, this place here is where the hobos used to hang out. If you remember from Yakuza 0, this is where Kiryu spent the night and fought those hobo harassers. It's been taken over. It is a plot of land now owned by a certain individual we're going to meet right now, a good old fan favourite. And basically a place called Kamurocho Hills is being built there. Owned by this individual who has ties to Tojo, so obviously it's a kind of Yakuza cough cough, nudge nudge kind of thing. But basically it's like this big thing that's going to revitalise Kamurocho that you're not going to see for like 4 games. Cough. But hey, here's Majima Goro. Good old Majima. He is the one in charge of Kamurocho Hills, and obviously he's the owner of the dagger. If you don't train with Kamaki, the game will actually ask if you want to enter the Colosseum. Majima will not come back unless we enter the Colosseum. You've always got to find some way to put the Colosseum into the Yakuza games. So we're going to do three fights. These are actually very different than in the original. In the original, you're not allowed weapons. Here, you're allowed weapons. So we're going to make very, very light work of this. Our old mate, Gary Buster Holmes. Absolutely love this dude. Those weapons that are on his fists right now, you could get those. They're pretty dang strong, let me tell you, and they have unlimited durability. But, oh, Gary, again, can't really stand up to the katana. And of course, it wouldn't be a Yakuza game with a Colosseum if you weren't fighting this individual. Oh yeah, it's a Majima fight. Majima has his basic attack set from Yakuza 0, his Mad Dog set, he is fully Mad Dog Majima, Mad Dog Katana. We're gonna hit him twice against QCE. It's actually pathetically easy, unfortunately, even though it's hype. Yes, the QC just did 2 HP bars of damage. Again, muscle soda. You have to hit him once before you can actually get him into field heat mode here. Sometimes if I've had to use an extra sword attack, or like if I need an extra sword attack, I will change to my fists. Fortunately here I actually managed my attacks well leading up to this point. Because if you switch to your fists, there's a high chance that Majima will start backflipping and you won't be able to hit him for like 10-20 seconds. It's annoying. But good old crazy Majima. Good old crazy Majima and his use yourself. So he's now happy to help us out. He's gonna come back to the Tojo. Basically, we basically need somebody to put their weight behind Daigo. We need somebody to say, okay, so if we have high-ranking people, so we have obviously the ex-4th chairman of the Tojo in Kiryu, and we have Majima, who's basically, you know, he's Majima. Everyone loves Majima. Everyone knows Majima. If we have basically these two backing Daigo, he's going to get a lot more prominence in the actual, like, Tojo himself, and hopefully take over as chairman. Remember when I said there are differences between the original Yakuza 2 and Kiwami 2? Say hello to the first one. Remember that unskippable minigame for yesterday from Yakuza 6 called the Clan Creator? It's back! And it's longer and more fillery than ever. But actually, it plays way better. So, it now plays like a proper tower defense. Again, Kiryu doesn't take place here, but we do get one very, very overpowered character right from the start. It's Majima. So everybody now has skills, or like certain members have skills. You can have 4 skills per fight. We're going to basically bring Majima over to the front. They're going to be set spawns at different places. I'm going to put Nishida here, this guy here. Start the fight ready. Actually, you want to be forward. So, allow me to go over the differences of the mechanic. On the left-hand side, you see skills. So you can see that Majima has Dragon Twister, you have Essence of Defense, Essence of Onslaught, obviously Defense and Onslaught give you defense up and attack up, and Essence of Explosives. The 2 red ones are basically skills. You will see me use Majima's skill at some point. And then you'll see next to every portrait is a number and a gold number and a green number. The green number is level, the gold number is how much money it takes to level them up. Leveling them up gives them more attack, also heals them. You'll see me basically use these at certain points. I want Majima to stay here. I don't want him to run too far forward, because we're going to need his skill for the start of this next wave. We're going to wait very briefly. Use Dragon Twister, which is an insanely huge skill, and the Essence of Onslaught, so we can get a bit of attack up, so that we can take care of as many guys as we can here before they go to the bottom. Everybody else should hopefully deal with them. Majima's got good AoE, but he also has an attack where he'll spin. It's a bit rare that he pulls it off, but he sometimes will. Now we'll bring him over here ready for the next set of enemies. And actually having this delayed is good, because we can basically wait it out for his next attack. Which I should actually have left for this wave. Fine. Because these are the only 2 waves. Again, we're gonna leave Majima here. Up everybody else's attack. And you can see that like certain times, like Cash spawns back there. We don't need it. Oh yeah, the things that you're trying to defend from have HP, but that really doesn't matter. So we've upped Majima's attack, like, massively. We're going to use skill real quick whilst we bring everybody else over. And then Essence of Onslaught to up Majima's attack now that it's off cooldown. And Majima is now doing a massive ton of damage to this guy. And everybody else should hopefully help. There's a spin attack. Could you all get in there? Get in there and deal with him. Thanks. Nice. 134 is okay. 131 is usually better. Enjoy this. Your reward is Majima's theme song for Majima Construction, and it's absolutely brilliant. Majima has taught his own blooming people a theme song for himself. Perfect. That is the most Majima thing that Majima could ever do. So, basically you get a little bit of plot about the clan creator. If you remember Yakuza 6's clan creator, there were NJPW wrestlers. Well, hey, here's some more, such as Chono there. God damn, as he always says. And with that out of the way, we can now finish this chapter. So we're going to head over to Serena. Fortunately, the Poseidon power that we had is still going on. Let's go straight over. Now, one little problem. Not only did the Omi take Jin Goda, they kind of also kidnapped Daigo Dojima. Whoops. So, we're going to have to go get him back. We have heard that he has been sighted in Kamurocho, so in the next chapter we're going to be going to find out, hopefully, where he is. So we're just going to jump in here real quick. Cool. I should have saved. I should have saved because this is one of the points where the game can hardlock. Not here, but a bit in this chapter, so I might find a save. Actually, no, there's save anywhere. That's fine. I'll save in this chapter. Only because we're in a marathon run, and obviously if the game crashes, that's it. So I should be saving after literally every chapter, considering marathon run. Need to put that into my mindset. So we're gonna have to go to the Amano building, which is where it's been seen that Daigo's been taken. Again, I'm just gonna save real quick, just in case. We're on chapter 6. There are 16 chapters in the game. We've got about an hour and 40 minutes left, hopefully. We're then gonna grab ourselves Poseidon Power, obviously, mid-sprint. Whoops. Easy to get caught on these stairs. And get stopped by Yuya. You didn't actually see him yesterday, but he was in Yakuza 6 yesterday. And then we're going to go and taxi over to Theatre Avenue. It is very important that we don't move. You can move slightly during these load screens. Unfortunately, camera position is based mostly on where your camera is going into these load screens. Sometimes it's not. And the other problem is you don't have access to like where you're going straight ahead when you're in these cutscenes. Or in these load screens, I should say. See that guy on the left? He's a sub-story. So we want to intentionally wait a second and not move so that we can move to the right to avoid his sub-story. So, talking to this informant, Kazuki, who owns Stardust, there's a suspicion that he actually might be a member of the Korean Mafia, the Jingwon Mafia. So you might have heard that name if you were here yesterday. There's a suspicion that he is a member of the Jingwon Mafia, so he's ran off. We don't know whereabouts he's at. We're gonna, again, muscle soda. I hate this guy whenever he like, guards that first hit. So you saw there the power of muscle soda, and how far that knockback happens. Like, if that happens, you're basically not going to be able to combo someone. Like, you have to be very careful with it, and we want to get to the next place as fast as possible whilst this muscle soda is still on. On the way, we are going to stock up on some extra muscle soda, just in case. There's a nice, fortunate vending machine on the way. And the Yakuza team are actually very good at, like, noticing what's overpowered and what's not overpowered. So I don't expect muscle soda to be in the next Yakuza game, which is actually good, guys. Or if it is, it will be heavily nerfed or changed. CC Lemon from Yakuza 6 in this game actually gives you EXP instead of attack now. So CC Lemon memes are now dead. It's a shame. But these guys are with 16-bit. They will give us the key to be able to get into the place where Daigo is. Again, you can see the power, the absolute power of muscle soda. Like, ideally, I don't want to put another one on because I don't want to waste too many. You can see how much slower it takes to take out people when you don't have a muscle soda on. Okay, forward so I don't accidentally hit Kaoru's talking trigger. Should have got some fresh Poseidon Power when I was at that vending machine. 5 left. When do I get more Poseidon Power? I use 3 in the next chapter. Okay, I'm gonna use these guys. So I'll grab it down here. Okay. I had to despawn those guys anyway on that vending machine, so I decided to get the Poseidon Power there whilst I actually had the opportunity to. And now we're going to go into our next set piece, which is the Iwano building. So we're going to tell Kaoru to wait here, and we're going to go and explore. Go and see if we can find out anything that's going on. And you're going to see a guy here. He is the man in black. Okay, that's a good job, Kiryu. That's not what I wanted you to do. I wanted the bike, but whatever. So it's the man in black. He's part of the Jingwon Mafia. He is essentially the Terminator. There he goes. You'll see why I call him the Terminator in a little bit. With him dealt with, we're going to go up here. I'm going to grab this baseball bat. This isn't a good weapon. So you can see that it's kind of a bit rough. Its attack pattern is also not good. That's good. We can now try the fast strap for this next segment. In this next segment, there are going to be 3 guys with guns. 2 with pistols, 1 with a machine gun. You're supposed to grab this shield on the Basically, we want to be able to shoot this guy. It might go a little wrong. This is fine because I'm just going to get it. It broke the gun. Never mind, we're going to kick him. Never mind, we're just kicking. It's actually slow with the shield because when you grab the shield, you actually slow walk. So that was still, despite what it looked like, still pretty fast. Hey, he's back! He just literally drop kicked onto like 2 floors above. So again, we're gonna muscle soda. We're gonna stab him. And there he goes. Gotta respect a man who can drop kick onto like the 3rd floor. Like, not sure how, but gotta respect him. Deal with this guy. Toughness easy is for safety. I'm sad that actually broke my height. We needed that, so I use some arrow with Katana, which isn't good. Very, very not good. That was good as well. Ooh, ran some bad luck today. Very bad luck. Now use an extra muscle soda than I want to use, so careful. This guy's a shotgun. Shotguns in this game are weird. It's more accurate to call them a rifle. They don't exactly have spray. So they do a lot of damage. Not to the point that I want to use them. They're kind of bad. Don't break, it's gonna break. It broke. Okay. It's a shame having the stove break on you there. Sometimes it can't be helped. I did like to keep it for this guy. Because guess what? He's back. The man in black is back for the 3rd time. This guy does not give up. This. He likes to knock you out of your attacks a lot as well. He's actually very nice. I don't want that chair. The chair is an awful attack power. And he's dead. And he's not dead. And he's got knives in his feet. Again. Okay, you know what? You just take the sword. This is yours. Chops with a light attack there. Break the guard. Heat mode. Now. Yeah, exactly. Like, shotguns in the old engine for like stuff like Kiwami, 3, 4, 5, etc. act like actual shotguns, but in this they act like rifles. It's something that I'm hoping to rest in future Yakuza games, aka Shin Yakuza and Judge Eyes. Although if we have shotguns in Judge Eyes, that might be weird. We'll see, I guess. So we followed Kazuki up to the roof, and then basically, there's a second Kazuki. I'm going to save. I'm going to save, make sure I save. There's basically a second Kazuki, which, that's a bit weird. Apparently, Kazuki has been locked up by the Korean Jingwon Mafia, and then he gets shot. So, Kazuki was the owner, or is the owner of Stardust. The fake fooled literally everybody. I find it ironic that the Jingwon Mafia actually then eventually buy out Stardust. The actual irony of that is pretty good. And just like with Karu earlier, we're going to carry Kazuki over to Dokimoto's clinic. Again, stamina does get consumed here, so you want to use Poseidon Power. Make sure you get that beautiful unlimited stamina. It is so nice to be able to just stack unlimited stamina items. We're on chapter 7. I want to level on the next chapter, don't I? Yeah, it's for Hayashi. So a lot about Yakuza 2 is actually focused on like tying up some plot points from Yakuza 1, which you'll basically be seeing over the next few chapters. In this segment, you'll see that there is a purple dot moving around and blue dots. We've got some good spawns here. The purple dots are policemen. They won't like end your run if you walk into them, but you want to stay as far away from them as you possibly can. because they'll just waste time. And again, same with Kaoru. You don't want to hit NPCs because the health will go down. Date likes to run in weird directions. Date's carrying a guy called Kawara. Kawar. I just messed up that pronunciation again. Basically, he is a old-timey detective. I want to say with Foreign Affairs. He has been basically looking for the Jingwon Mafia. This is Dokimoto. He's going to help Kazuki. And obviously, Date, you'll have seen him from Yakuza 6 yesterday. Date is good old friend Kiryu. We're going to pick Bantam here. Bantam used to be called Bacchus. There was an incident there in Yakuza 1 last year. Yes, Bacchus, the same name as the trainer from Yakuza 0, but no relation. I'm just going to go over there real quick, and then we're going to have to come back again after that. But basically, Kawara is a... Date worked with Kawara for a little while. He's kind of one of those old school detectives that doesn't really take any crap. And Date doesn't like the way he operates, for one thing. But he also got shot in that little exchange. Not as badly as Kazuki, who needs actual surgery. We know the master of Bantam here. We helped him out of a jam last year in Yakuza 1. We kind of accidentally forgot to tell Kaoru how to get here. So we tell her we'll meet her at the Emoto Medical Clinic. And so obviously we have to go back there. This is a nice bit, because usually there aren't any enemy spawns here, which is weird. I don't know if they just don't load in or what, but I don't think I've ever had a fight spawn here. It's quite nice. When we go into the medical clinic, we will find that there are two Korean Jingwon Mafia members by the names of Kim and Choi, and they're causing a ruckus because they're trying to find the fake Kazuki that we brought in. And we're going to beat them up. We're going to go and grab this bench, we're going to use a muscle soda, and they're going to go down. You only need to deal with one of them. Fun fact, you only need to deal with one. The other one might try and hit you here. If they do, it doesn't matter. Even if the other one has full HP, when that heat move comes out, end of the fight. So Kara tries grilling them, and I think he actually might shoot one of them. Question mark. Oh, hold on, 2 secs. Sorry about that. And basically, we don't really get that much from them. We need to go back to Bantam so that we can go and have a friendly matter with everyone and basically like refresh what's going on. Yeah, the Millennium Tower likes to blow up a lot. A lot. Too much. So, everyone's going to disappear whilst we stay in Bantam. And unfortunately for us, the locals are a little agitated. And they've been told to basically kill Kiryu so that they can get out of debt. Which, you know, muscle soda, bustle. That's a big old oof. I do apologize. I keep muting because the wintry cold that I have has basically gone into the tickly cough phase, and every 5 minutes my throat is just like, you need to cough now. No, I don't. Stop that. So we basically make friends with everybody again, and, you know, hitting people with a bar stool is obviously the best way to rekindle the flames of friendship, as it were. And now we're going to go off back to Serena. Fight spawn to the right, that's even better. Is this the Granny White fight, or is that the next chapter? This is this chapter. Granny White is a sub-story. These are Chinese triads. They're not the Sayao triad, despite the fact that they were Chinese triad in thing 6 yesterday. Best way is just to muscle soda, grab this side and hit them. If you're lucky, you can get them in one swing, but usually the guy at the back decides to walk off, like he did. So 2 swings is ideal. If 3 swings, something's gone horribly wrong. Again, unlike the old engine, it's a lot harder to manipulate the AI because their AI there basically wanted to lock onto Granny White and moved around based on her. Which is a pain in the ass. Not much we can do about that, unfortunately. Yeah, Date isn't good at protecting people. He's really not good at protecting people. We're at the halfway point. Actually, literally, like, we're at the halfway point, like, almost in terms of time-wise, but actually, chapter-wise, we're at the halfway point. This is the one chapter where we could potentially have a hard lock that I know of for certain. So I will save again manually just before it. So we're basically without any information. There's a couple of... Where am I going? I need to go to the taxi. There's a couple of factions at play here. You have, obviously, us and the Sojo. You have the Omi Alliance with the Goryu. You have the Jingwon Mafia. And it's basically everybody's waiting for the first party to make a move. Now, we still need info. We need to find out where Daigo is. So we're going to go and find the guy who used to run Purgatory, who has a underground connection of hobos. Don't ask. Hobos who basically give him all the information in the city. It actually works. It works well. He used to be the guy who ran Purgatory. He went back to the police, and his new office is in the Millennium Tower. A place that never ever explodes, cough. We meet him, we have a good old natter and a good old catch-up, and as it turns out, somebody's trying to break the servers in the basement. So now we're going to have to go down to the basement, find out who the heck is doing all of this. I've not found, like, a good way to deal with these intruders, because they seem to spawn behind you, which is weird. And there's always one that spawns in, like, the pit shaft. I don't like how little muscle soda I've got. Somebody yeah, it's so aggressive. Yeah, it's being ridiculous. Yo, enough of that, thank you. Much like Yakuza 6, your AI is actually pretty useful. Has this guy spawned yet? He hasn't. That's frustrating. Spawn after this guy. Now our muscle soda up, because we will take this muscle soda into the fight. Didn't mean to do that. When you're with a partner, you can do these partner heat attacks. So I guess it's nice I got to show it off, but... Again, a little... Oh, this guy must have spawned as well. But they basically spawn in packs. There's one more to the right. And then we find the guy who's behind all of this. Guy who has defected to the Omi, Hayashi from Yakuza 1. He's in the backside, this guy. Also, I should have done this beforehand. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down here and grab where the heck it is. Weapon attack 1, 2. I'm gonna go over here. Speed gain 2. Speed gain 3. And we're gonna pump some attack. Now, this may not look like I'm doing much. Those are multiple HP bars. Hayashi is the first boss that has essentially 7 HP bars. Actually, I think it's 6. So, he does this heat move, and then he's gonna do this. He's pretty strong to be doing that, considering that's probably hot sleep. Alright, show off. Unfortunately for Hayashi, we have muscle soda. Oops. If I could heat move in, that'd be great. There. Not quite killable position. I will actually muscle soda because that's Ah, use the switch blade. Yeah, he was in position, but unfortunately, like, when they get into position, sometimes you have to hit them one more time. It sometimes happens. I don't quite know why. It's like an extra trigger. So there's going to be a QTE to punch him. We're going to intentionally fail it, and now just end the fight. Even if he has more HP, just fail it, and it just ends the fight. Although it is fun to punch Hayashi a lot. We'll see you again in Dead Souls, unfortunately, Hayashi. Bye-bye. So, system comes back online, Florist does his thing, and he finds Daigo. Daigo is currently at a place called Shangri-La, which, if you saw Yakuza 6 yesterday, you'll recognize Shangri-La. Not as destroyed, but we did destroy it over in Yakuza 1. I am going to do that manual save because this is the point where it can hardlock. If we get into a fight on the way, and it can happen, and then go into this loading trigger, the game can hardlock. Again, there's a few certain places where that will happen, and this is one of them. This is one of the worst places for it. It might not happen, because obviously I'm going to try... I'm just going to try and not get any enemy aggro. Which, there's no enemy spawn. Huh. Neat. That also works. But as I said yesterday, this is an old soap land. Us and Majima, we fought here in the events of last year in Yakuza 1. That's why this place is completely destroyed. Majima kind of drove a bloody forklift into this place. Punched a hole in the floor with us. Oh, I hate this. Every time you have to wait until you actually get your HUD back before you can actually continue on. That's very good. Having him open the door for us is great. When you're holding a weapon like that, sometimes you can't get through doors. Again, Muscle Soda, just this guy, has massive knockbacks. If you can try and get people into the doors and stuff, I don't want you to hit me with that. Dagger, thank you. I also need that pipe for the next enemy. It broke. Excellent. It's the old-fashioned way. Nope. Also, if you can, punching doors makes things a little faster. Grab this soap for these guys. And for this guy. And for these guys. If you can get around the corner. Broke the Chinese soap, which is a shame. I've grabbed this crowbar. Crowbar is good. Crowbar has a weird attack, but it also has a more durability. I really like the crowbar. I like the crowbar more than I should, but it is good. I'm gonna put it away for now. Whoops. I'll grab that crowbar in the corner when I come out of this. Pop up again. You don't have to kill the guys that are, like, in the corner throwing knives. You'll see a few of those. Go in here because there's a whole, like, bunch of enemies kind of grouped up, and they'll group up when they come through the door as well. It's a little more effective. About to die anyway. Muscle Soda. I've used up a few too many weapons, so I'm going to grab this open katana for later. This is what I meant by you walk slowly with the shield. I couldn't throw it in time. If you have a weapon, you can just basically round the corner and throw it. Because usually I basically grab the pipe, or use one of those old crowbars and throw it at him, but because I put away that katana, I don't have that luxury. So, what's the next chapter? Chapter 9. I need to save 3 Muscle Soda. So, Soda. Didn't mean to do that, but that's fine, because that will reset some of their positions. Charged strong. Destroy these guys. And again, because we're mid-animation, we can just do that and not get hit by him. But fortunately, the drop kick is disgusting and just destroys him anyway. It's the last guy that we have to deal with. Soda. These guys. Grab this, put this away. Just in case. And then we find Daigo. We have one more small little fight that we have to go through. This can be an annoying fight. It's usually pretty okay. That guy with the knife is... Two guys with guns, they're not actually too bad. Nice. That went pretty well. I wanted to save some muscle soda because we're going to need the muscle soda for the next chapter. This next chapter is pretty short. It's basically... Essentially, it's a big set piece. But we do have to do a few things beforehand. Ugh, dear. Had a bit of a hot sweat there. Our winter illness is kicking me in the backside at the minute. So, if the title wasn't obvious enough, Ryuji gave us a ultimatum, and basically we're coming up to that ultimatum shortly. We get some backstory on how the Tojo worked back in the past. There was a big raid. There's a big raid on Christmas a few years back with these sets of Koreans who turned out to be the Jingwon Mafia. And essentially, it was down to Kiryu's kind of foster father figure, Kazuma, and him and Shimano basically went around and essentially eliminated most of the people who were there. Kazuma, being Kazuma, decided he didn't want to, like, kill everybody, so he spared some people. But we'll get some more on that in a bit. But remember when Terada died at the start? Unfortunately, his funeral is now, so we're going to have to go and see that. Please turn around. I hate you so much. I was hoping they'd turn around so that I'd be able to just run to the taxi, but... Oh well. So here we are at the funeral service. I'm gonna run in here. Unlike Yakuza, you don't have to do something silly to get in here. Or waste like 5-10 minutes. And then basically, Ryuji Goda turns up. Because Terada used to be Omi before he became the 5th chairman of the Tojo. And obviously here's a bunch of dudes. And here's a big old fight. Because why not? Us and Daigo gonna kick some butt. Oh, the usual symptoms. Muscle soda up. Not bad. Daigo helping out there. The guy with the sword can actually guard a lot, so Daigo hitting him in the back actually helps a lot, because then that meant that we could hit him without fear of like repercussion or him guarding. Yeah, Daigo's starting to feel the heat now. He's starting to think, you know, I hate the Omi, I want to take over the Tojo, etc., etc. That's very much paraphrasing it. It's a heck of a lot more complicated than that. But Ryuji literally came only to pay his respects, and then says that we basically have 24 hours until the Omi invade. And hey ho, guess what? Here come the Omi. Now, fortunately for us, there was a certain somebody who we convinced earlier, Majima Goro, who decides to take on the Omi by himself and wins. Because it's Majima, why wouldn't he? But we basically have to come back to Kamurocho to stop this Omi invasion. And we hear word, obviously, that there's some commotion going on. We're going to go to the tower. That's the one. Oh, almost went to the wrong taxi point. That would have been bad. And we're going to get a quick little cutscene showing that Majima actually won. Good old Majima. But Majima says to us that actually this was all a big ploy because a guy called Shindo, who is a small bit player in Yakuza 1, has actually turned against the Tojo and is working for Ryuji. So think Hayashi again. Another smaller bit player turning into an enemy for a chapter. So we're going to have to run back to Tojo HQ. Karu's going to take care of Majima and his wounds. There's always this short little, like, hitch there that always worries me that the game's going to crash, but it does. Keep an eye on my minimap in case there's an enemy spawning after these spawn with these vending machines. Good. That might be it down the end. It is. No way. they moved away in that. And now we get to the set piece of the chapter, which is, as you can probably guess, Tojo HQ. So, Shindo has basically taken hostage everybody who was here. Kashiwagi, Daigo, some of the other higher acting officers of the Tojo, Yuri, who is the current acting chairwoman. Because Shindo wants to take over the Tojo, and we don't want to let him. So, you know what, you two can go down whilst I have to this to go away. You can see how little damage we do without muscle cells. I was hoping that was good damage. I will take... Whoops. Why didn't give me the prompt there? I'll take both of these. Thank you. Use this one. This guy uses experience. I'm worried about the other guy who we actually did kill, which is nice. Like, look how little damage we do. I want to kind of save my muscle soda for as long as possible here, because I am running a little low. Take this for safety, just in case. And before we enter the room... So basically, we get a whole bunch of exposition. There's a whole bunch of big leading Tojo members who are being killed right now, and Shindo's all like, I'm gonna take over the Tojo. Banging fight thing. We're gonna grab the sofa, hit him once with it, and then go after him. For the most part, he's gonna go down in one hit. Ooh, he tried the bloody katana dodge. So, katana users can do that dodge where they attack and dodge at the same time. It's been a staple move in the series for a long time. It's so annoying. Unfortunately, the Frost with the strong attack on the katanas has massive reach. Massive reach. Healing item there if you need it. We've been picking up a load, so we don't need it. I only have one muscle soda left, so I'm gonna go for cider. It's gonna take a few extra hits to take it down, but I need that muscle soda. QT time. Yuri gives us a nice sword, thank you. Unfortunately, we can't keep it after this. That's a lot of claret. Shindo's dead. Unfortunately, like I said, you can't keep the sword from that. I do need to put on a stamina power because you just run out of stamina just before you get to the actual room again. So you have to return to the conference room to save everybody else. Unfortunately, you can't punch when you're not in a fight, so I can't punch that. Punching doors open is actually slightly faster than walking through them normally. The Yakuza way. Ignore the fact I'm using a muscle soda here. Oh, hey, guess what? Absolutely brilliant little twist that he's not dead and you actually have to fight him still. Like, that QCE comes out of nowhere. It's so good. We're just gonna hit him with a soda. Muscle soda. And that's the end of Shindo. That is the end of Shindo because Daigo actually shoots him. And shoots him very dead. Very, very dead. Not getting up from that. Again, saving just in case we hardlock. We shouldn't hardlock. We should be past most of the hardlock spots, but because this one doesn't have autosave, unlike Yakuza 6, I'm going to be making these safety saves so that if the game does accidentally crash or hardlock, you know, we can just reload real quick. So at this point, Daigo's now got the support of Kiryu, he's now got the support of Majima. He's basically becoming more and more ready for the role of Tojo Chairman. Which one is this, chapter 10? Chapter 10's a bit of a filler chapter, to be honest. There's not a heck of a lot we have to do here. There's not really many, like, super important story beats. This is one of those chapters where, essentially, it's just tying up loose ends from Yakuza 1. So we'll be seeing, like, a few characters from Yakuza 1. Takes a second point to use the menu. We will be getting fresh muscle soda here, obviously, because we're going to need it in the next few chapters. Fortunately, we don't need it in this chapter. That's not a good fight spawn. These vending machines on the right-hand side, you'll probably notice if you were seeing yesterday. You'll probably notice from yesterday that they weren't actually there. They're part of the new, like, additions to the Kamurocho map. It's like, even though, like, Kamurocho is the main map for all the games, they mix it up in nice ways, like, either by moving, like, certain shops around, or by adding things, like, in certain Yakuza games you can get up to the rooftop, in certain Yakuza games you can go down below it. In this one, for instance, they've added a whole bunch of, like, little back alleys you can go down, and then there's, like, the new vending machines you can get, the different vending machines you can use, like, obviously now we've got green ones on muscle soda, we've got orange ones, we've got the usual red ones, and we've got the purple ones, which are for your mystery drinks, which can convey one of, I think, about, like, I'm gonna say 18 different effects. Not good ones either. Some good, some bad, completely random. This is Takashi. He's actually the forest's son. You help him out in Kiwami 1, and because of that whole helping out in Kiwami 1, he actually gives you you actually get a weapon from it called the Guimon, and oh my god, it's the best weapon ever. It's a short dagger that actually, like, completely helped change the speedrun, which is nice. So again, I'm gonna get side hands. That was good for a little while. Oh, one really nice little thing, and this is just such a little difference that makes all the world of difference. Taxis in Yakuza 6 could only be accessed from one side, which was the passenger door. You can now access taxis from all sides now, apart from the very, very front. And I think the very back, but you might be able to on the very back, I'm not sure. But taxis, now you can get to them from both sides. It's wonderful. It's one of those small things you don't think about, but it's an amazing quality of life change. They basically, like, because what happened was they made Yakuza 6 in the new engine, and it was definitely, I wouldn't say rushed, but it wasn't complete. And they hadn't got, like, that much experience with the engine before Yakuza 6 came out. And in between Yakuza 6 and Kiwami 2, they released a completely different game that goes via the name Fist of the North Star. Fist of the North Star, Lost Paradise in the West, Hokuto Gagokuto in Japan. AKA, it's basically a spin of the Yakuza series, but with Fist of the North Star. And they actually used the old engine for Fist of the North Star, and they actually even admitted they weren't too comfortable with the new engine yet, which props to them for actually, like, coming out and saying that, But in that time between 6 and obviously with Fist of the North Star, they basically use that time with the engine for this remake, and they have grown from it. That's a bad fight spawn in the middle. I'm gonna have to take a different route, a bit longer route. Pain in the ass. Oh. But they basically took like their time and they learned a lot. So that's really nice. Like the PS4 base version, like we're talking just base PS4, not PS4 Pro. With Yakuza 6, there was like a lot of screen tearing. With base PS4 for this one, there's like no screen tearing at all, which is fantastic. So even just the performance, they've increased dramatically. FPS is more stable. There's more heat moves, like we said, and obviously there's the ways to keep equipment and stuff. So they're finally getting to grips, like, kind of with this engine, and we're very much excited for their upcoming games, specifically Judge Eyes and Shin Yakuza. Judge Eyes coming out in Japan next month, actually, which is very, very exciting for me. I'm so looking forward to that. But a lot of people like the old engine over the new engine. I can see why, I can understand why. I think for one-on-one fights, the old engine was better for them, but they're getting better and better as like each game goes on. But multi-enemy combat is way better in this engine. It's really nice. Also, for some weird reason, the barrier here doesn't load here. It's the one point in the game where for some reason it doesn't load. And we don't do anything different, we don't do anything special. It's just this one point, it just doesn't load. Why? I don't know. I don't know. But basically we're back over in Senbori, over in Osaka. We're going to get a bit of character development. We're going to get a bit more filler, but it's actually important filler this time. We're going to be going to see a tattoo artist. Obviously, as you know with the Yakuza, ink is a big thing. Like, it's a sign of power, it's a sign of symbolism, it's an absolutely massive thing. Which is why, like, with Yakuza 0, with Kiryu having an unfinished ink, was, like, showing that he wasn't, like, a full-fledged Yakuza, etc. And then, obviously, getting it touched up in Yakuza 1. And then, obviously, yeah, like, Somia's whole standpoint in Yakuza 6 about ink, like, there's a whole bunch of, like, philosophy about, like, Yakuza ink, and it's super interesting. But we're basically going to go and we're going to go and find Kaoru. She wants to unwind. She's over in Stigil, which is a bar up in the top left. We went there once earlier. We're going there again later as well. So this chapter, or was it the next chapter? It was the next chapter, okay. There's going to be a sub-story here at some point for fans of Yakuza 0's Cabaret. They're going to get a very familiar face. But we'll see them real soon. For now, we just want to go to Stigil. Most of the sub-stories in this one, unlike 6, you actually have to interact with to be able to start them, which is great for us as speedrunners because we can just walk past them. But there are still some that activate. I did not do darts, thank you very much. Darts is cool though. But there are some that still activate in a proximity rather than talking to them or activating them. So Kaoru is over at the riverside. Hopefully no fight spawn coming here. Good, good. Sometimes you can have one here, it's quite rare, but it can happen. Just gets in the way. Pain in the backside. And basically there's a whole bunch of people getting... There's like a couple being harassed here and Kaoru goes to stop them. And these guys have stun guns for some reason, I don't know why. So we're gonna do the obvious thing. Get this guy. Soda. That's the intro about guys with stun guns. Again, you've got the trifecta. You don't want guys with guns, with knives, or stun guns to be able to live, basically. Because they're the ones that are just gonna, like, constantly interrupt you and everything you do. So, we deal with them. The police come after us, which, you know, we could just say that Kaoru is a member of the police, but instead, wacky hijinks ensue, and we run off with her, and we get a bit of character interaction between her and Kiryu, and they're getting, you know, pretty close. You know. You know. So... we're going to go over to the riverbed now. We're going to get there. We're going to dodge a sub-story on the left there. Dodge a sub-story on the right there. That's a bit close. And then run down the river. Hopefully no fight spawn down here. You can have fight spawns down here. It's a little unfortunate. Doesn't happen too often. There is one ahead of us. Would you look at that? Marathon luck. Right by the stairs as well. Really? There should be an area trigger though. Yeah, okay, good. Please don't crash. Sometimes going into area triggers whilst in a fight. Okay, good. This was the tattoo artist I mentioned earlier. He has a certain tattoo, which you'll see very briefly in a second. This one here. He mentions that, or we show him our ink and say that, you know, it's, well, we tell him about our ink and that it's an Utabori. Utabori being a very famous tattoo artist in Kamurocho. This guy is basically his equivalent in Senbori. He is looking for an heir, a successor. He has two basically disciples. The lady who you saw there briefly and another dude. I don't remember either of their names. That's not good. But basically the dude has stolen the drawing because he thinks that he's far more suited to be a tattoo artist because he's a male. And there's something about females and tattoo artists, like etc, etc. It's just a whole load of crap. So this guy is acting all high and mighty, and we're gonna do the Kiryu thing and hit him in the face with a chair. That's what we do. Nice hit. I want Satoshi because these guys just go down in otherwise. After, you know, knocking some sense into them, we find out that the tattoo that she doesn't want to work on, this one, is actually going to be the tattoo for a certain Ryuji Goda, the dragon of Kansai. And then we show off our ink. And everybody is in awe, and the whole situation gets worked out. So, Chapter 11... Chapter 11's not too long, if you know what to do. We are on a bit of a fetch quest. So one plot point that I forgot to mention is that Kaoru has found out that she actually has Korean blood. Forward here. There's a fight spawn, we should be fine, I guess. Yeah, fine. She actually has Korean blood, which is causing a bit of a front with Kiryu, because when... she's basically one of the survivors of the Jingwon massacre back in Kamurocho all those years ago. Perpetrated by Kazuma and Shimano and Doji. And basically... I need to make sure I tax it to the right places. Seconds. So basically, Kiryu as a kid was actually there at the time. Which, that's causing a few, you know, issues, etc. We need 30k for this guy. This is why the platinum plate early on was the perfect thing to get. He tells us where we can go to find basically one of the survivors of the Jingwon massacre. And we need to go and basically do this whole long, convoluted sort of fetch quest to be able to go and speak to him. We need to go down here, down the alleyway we went down earlier with the bloodcake chainmail. We need to try and get into this locked building. Read this note. call this phone number. Oops. 110 100 109. Always the same code, which is nice. Inside. Place is now unlocked. Place is empty. Key 4285. Get a shareholder ticket. We then get a phone call telling us to go and place an order at Komian, which is a restaurant that's right outside. Whoops. A little hard to maneuver in these tight enclosed spaces, unfortunately. I'm going to despawn it just in case, because I was a little worried about it like catching me as I went around the corner. Rather be safe than sorry. We place the order. Some dude turns up to get this, to give us the information, get this tile off us. The shogi tile that we found in the safe. He calls us a yappy B word. He brings out a knife. We're just gonna, yeah. We're just gonna do a Kiryu thing. He then tells us about a guy called Santa Claus. We're gonna go find Santa Claus. Santa Claus is actually a Yakuza. Sorry to ruin Christmas, everybody, but Santa Claus is a member of the Yakuza. Sorry about that. That's the truth about Santa that your parents don't want you to know. This is Santa. And he leads us into this underground shogi place. This is on a completely different map in the original Yakuza 2. That map was taken out. It's a shame, but you don't lose too much with it being taken out. But this place was basically moved here. We meet up with a survivor of the Jing one. He tells us about what happened. That was Kazuma there. He actually let some people go, as we said earlier, and then says about Kaoru being one of the survivors. Kiryu knows, obviously he was there. And then here comes some Jing 1 Mafia. Stabbing everybody with their knives. This guy can actually be annoying if you don't get that second hit quickly, because he can guard all the time. So frustrating. But unfortunately they kill the guy who told us the info. And now, unfortunately, our leads are disappearing. And we're going to get a slightly fiddlery thing. There is a scene here that is slightly changed from the original Yakuza 2, but only audio-wise. They actually changed the audio of a very, very important scene that's about to happen. We're not going to see, because for one thing, it's a long cutscene, and two, this cutscene now mutes the VOD. So let's make sure we skip past that. But basically, Kiryu and Kaoru have a fight. Kaoru goes off. Kiryu basically, sad Kiryu in rain, that you'll see very, very briefly. But no, we get more on the backstory, because Kiryu basically reveals to Kaoru at this point that he was there. I've definitely got my order of events mixed up. But yeah, there's the big reveal about all of that. Good OST, by the way. Gorgeous music. And then, whilst Kiryu is sad Kiryu in the rain, a hobo comes up, drops his drink. Kiryu goes to be a nice guy and pick it up for him, and gets shanked by the hobo. What a nice dude. The hobo is actually working as an agent and has basically stabbed Kiryu. So remember all those times we had to carry people? Yeah, now it's happening to us. So you control basically like you're drunk. You see me like moving about here. That's not me. Your HP is determined on your HP bar at the time. You do get full HP, but whatever HP we have after this segment is what we're going to have for the rest of the chapter. So we ideally don't want to bump into people and lose too much HP. You'll notice that there are enemies on the side of the roads. I don't like these NPCs right here. We don't want to get too close to them, because if we do, we have to fight them. So will be intentionally avoiding these guys. There is a long way round that has no enemies, but it's such a long way round. Like, we're talking an extra minute to 2 minutes. And for some reason, sometimes, as you saw just there, the game can teleport you backwards. Why? I don't know. Physics. You can get between these two, but it's quite some damage. Please move, people. You are literally killing me. Thank you. Okay, so we got half HP. I'm gonna have to heal at some point. That's for sure. Kiryu's been stabbed. Kiryu now needs to rest and recuperate. And in this time, Kiryu's adopted daughter Haruka, would you believe it, after being kidnapped 3 times in Yakuza 1, has been kidnapped again despite not being in the story for this one. How does that even happen? But basically, Kiryu's now getting rather angry. He's not exactly mended, but we're now back to kick some butt. We're gonna have to go to the Yakubori Golf Center to find a dude. But first, sub-story. If you've played Yakuza 0, you'll recognize this old lady. She's the Libertarian. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Time. It's basically a sub-story about bringing her back in. We're just gonna... like, you can see there... Whoops. You can see there the... throwing stuff really doesn't have the same power as in Yakuza 6. And even when you get the upgrades for it, it still doesn't have the same power. But yep, the Obitarian strikes again. She's back. Good old Obitarian. But basically, we're going to try and keep this muscle soda going until we can get to the golf center. We have a high chance of running into an enemy fight on the way, so we're going to have to be a little careful. Okay, it's on the right, that's fine. Again, same rules as with the other Yakuza games. If you have an enemy set aggroed onto you, another enemy set will not aggro you. So if there was an enemy set coming out of here, we could have just walked past them. Here is Unknown Man. We're going to beat some info at him. Can I hit him in time? Yes, I got him once. I will set aside the rest because I don't really use too many muscles. I'm going to resupply my muscle soda in this chapter. I've got too little of it. We're going to get a call from Kurokawa. Do I want to... here? I think that might be a good idea to do here. We're going to do a quick stat upgrade. We're going to get... Can we get it yet? No, we can't. Oh, yes, we can. I saw it. Weapon attack max. And then obviously pump the rest into damage. You can see it works as well a little differently than how it worked in Yakuza 6. It works better though. Can I get around there? I can't. I just saw a fight spawn as well. Despawn or not? No. Okay. So good old Kurokawa, who did help us out at the start. Unfortunately, he's working for Yuji Goda. Here's some Yakuza who have come down from Hiroshima. And for being a traitor to us, Kurokawa, you get to go in the drink. Bye-bye. Yep. Muscle soda. You know the drill by now. But you can see, like, with muscle soda, how far this knockback is. It's actually ridiculous. And you can also go for a swim. So, Kurokawa tells us that Isaki, the guy in the Mahjong parlor who we fought earlier, is also in on it. So we're going to go and fight him as well. Because again, tying up a bunch of loose ends. No fight spawn here, fantastic. There usually is one here, so having no fight spawn here is wonderful. to the acupuncture center. The acupuncture center here actually serves as a way to remember moves that Kiryu has forgotten from Yakuza 1 at certain points in the story, including the infamous Tiger Drop, an insanely good counterattack. But we can't get that until we finish the chapter, and it takes a lot of experience to be able to learn. And it's just not worth it. It's just really not worth it. So, Muscle Soda. Get started on this. Should be fine. Charge. Oh, there we go. Oh, he dodged. He dodged as soon as he stood up, dodging my actual drop kick. That's frustrating. We're gonna go to this vending machine. We're gonna resupply the Simon Power, which we have a lot of, and more importantly, Muscle Soda. And we're going to go... We've been told that Haruka has been taken by one of Ryuji's men, Sengoku, to Osaka Castle, which... Trust me when I say this. Osaka Castle splits in two and a giant golden castle comes out from its remnants. Trust me on that one. Just... Trust me on that one. Pause button isn't working all of a sudden. Excellent. That happens sometimes. But we have our big next set piece. When I go to use my Muscle Soda, we're going to put some new weapons on. For the end of the chapter, we're going to want the Chinese Sailor. And now we'll take the Yakuza. This guy won't go down until everybody else has gone down. One more time. Chase after him. That healing item ahead is a Stamina Royale. It's a pretty good healing item if you need it. We should have picked it up during the run. And yeah, here's a bunch of ninjas. They are very annoying if they stand on these spikes because they constantly sidestep like this and you can't hit them. Whenever they do that animation, they are unhittable. They are very annoying. I might actually want to keep on its instead. Take care of this guy. He throws bombs, it's annoying. I don't know whether this actually takes into effect any attack drinks you have on, so I put one on anyway just in case. I don't use a Muscle Soda because this is a kind of a long segment, but hey, here's a Gatling gun. Yeah, sure, why not? Take care of him first. Before you take out anyone else, take care of these guys go up the stairs, and then we can take care of this. This bit's rather nasty on Legendary because you have multiple of them shooting at you, not just one. And also there's a massive amount of people get the guns. Oops. That's not what I want to do. Do that in a second, not just yet. So, remember Masazoe in Yakuza 6 yesterday? Same rule applies to this fight. You want to kill Kamieda first, so he doesn't respawn any enemies. Wow! Katana! How many enemies? You broke my katana! What the heck am I doing? And again, if they're over by these spears, you take forever to hit them. Dodging all the time. Now, remember when I said the word tigers yesterday? Yeah, here's some tigers. Yeah, no, this is happening. Sengoku has 2 pet tigers. And we're gonna fight these pet tigers. With a sword. Poke it in the face. He actually hit me on the way through. Ow, that's bad. You gotta be careful, because these guys can actually destroy you. this second tiger, and it doesn't matter which one you attack first, the second tiger will always have way more defense than it should. Just in between chapters here, we're going to have to deal with a very, very slight emergency. I should only hopefully be 30 seconds, but you have to forgive me. I'm just going to have to AFK for 30 seconds real quick. Should hopefully
no
not
problem.
take too long. So I'm just
Hey,
gonna
take your
save.
time, dude.
Cool. Be back 2 secs.
Hi. これでよし。
ありがとう。
Alright, sorry about that. Emergency over. Oh dear. Not ideal. Right, so in this chapter we actually have like a semi-fake time wait. We're supposed to wait with Haruka for like a certain period of time, but actually it's kind of fake because you actually just go straight to the point anyway. But essentially it's kind of like we've got another 2 chapters kind of like earlier where we have to kind of like spend time going around doing stuff, but it's kind of like unlike the one earlier, this one is a fake one. Basically there's a whole bunch of filler chapter with Haruka. We want to make it up to her for the fact that we haven't spent time with her, etc. I should really Poseidon power, there we go. So we went and saw a dude there who's a producer. He wants to make Haruka into a star, etc., into an idol. Of course, that could never happen. Cough. But basically, we're supposed to like wait around. But if we just go up to this taxi stand here, we actually get the phone call that we need straight away. So instead of actually being like a quote time wait, it's not actually. Even though we had a thing on the map. If you just go to the opposite side of the map, it's fine. So we're gonna go in, speak to the producer. Producer's gonna be all like, "Oh, hey, we could make your Haruka into a star, etc." It could be in Haruka's best interest. Crap's going on outside. We're gonna have to go save Haruka again. You would think this girl could stay out of trouble. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's impossible for her to stay out of trouble. It's some thugs. We're just gonna hit them this time. So we're gonna run in between them, so hopefully they don't actually move away too far. Obviously grab that, obviously not soda, spin around, hopefully hit all of them. Most of the time that fight will be 2 hits. Usually they do not stay together. They're frustrating, their AI is annoying. Haruka basically goes off on Kiryu and say, "Why were you gonna make me an idol without my permission? I don't want to be an idol. I'll never be an idol." Cough. And at this point, basically, now we're just gonna go around. We're now basically just gonna go around. We're gonna go and find a singer over in Stigil. Not quite sure why. Depends on why it is. But we basically want to run up here. That's what happens when you don't hold X during the load screens, because then you have to hold X to run, and then you hit the confirmation prompts. Sometimes you just hit the taxi instead. So there is actually a singer in Stigil. Hilariously, she's going to move to the riverbed now, and sometimes, very, very rarely, but this has happened, when you get near her or you get close to her, she starts singing in the background. If you... Hello. physics engine, by the way. Love this thing. If you if you actually skip this, I believe, on the right frame, the correct frame, this background singing will stay with you forever. We haven't got it this time. But weirdly last, on like my PB run, we have her singing forever. Not sure why, but there you go. Oh, the Poseidon Power. I didn't even realise. And I actually hit the trigger anyway. Nice. Perfect. So the producer from earlier, basically, he's come and we're saying to him, oh hey, we found you a singer. And we obviously say that she should be a singer, everyone has a happy ending, blah 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 blah. We're off back to AoE now. This is a bad fight spawn. Okay, we got past them there. That was the fight spawn that I was talking about earlier that usually happens outside of the Grand. You can get past it there, as I just showed off. It's a little finicky because the hitbox is quite large. Just gonna go here. Is this the last time we're in... Is this the last time? This is actually the last time we're in Certain so say goodbye to Certain. Good old Certain. Now, Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami both have fights on the highway, where you go into the technically first-person segment shooter. Fortunately, it's not a shooter this time around. Instead, it's something a little more cooler. We get to fight the Jingle Mafia on the back of a truck. Now, here's the great part about this engine. Grab this dude, throw this dude. Everybody's dead. That is the amazing part about this engine. Unlike kind of the original, or I guess like, I think you could in the original, but not as well. Here you can just send everybody tumbling and take them off the truck. And it's great. This guy is the worst one, as he has the most HP in defense. Now, do you remember way earlier in the run, back in chapter 3, when we picked up that gun? It's for that annoying guy in the back. Because that annoying guy in the back throws grenades. And it's the only way you can actually hit him. This is why I bought a second gun. Just in case. You can throw his grenades back at him, but it's a little finicky. That's gonna hit me. That can't kill me, right? That's me. It's gonna move. Didn't trust myself not to. Okay, so that didn't look like it was gonna hit. Basically, that's what you want the gun for, is to hit that guy. Now I'm behind. Ow! Nice using the body to physics forward. More Jingle. We're gonna saw away, grab the guy in the middle. He's a mini boss. Hey, guess what? Just throw him off the side. That's it. Hey now, you remember the man in black? I wouldn't bring him up for no reason now, would I? Guess who's back? With his knife boots. Yup. Just chilling. And again, I'm gonna take him out. Now I want you to watch him very carefully. Ouch. He just went under that truck. He's not coming back, by the way. Cough. I'm telling you, the dude's a Terminator. But that deals with the Jungle Mafia for now. For now. Except it doesn't. Because Date somehow gets captured alongside the florist over in Millennium Tower. Ay, ay, ay. And we've got to go save them. Exactly, just a flesh wound. He's fine. Literally, he's fine. Not quite sure how, but he actually is fine. So, one of the police officers who was working with Date, etc., is actually turned out to be one of the surviving members of the Jumon Mafia. Now, again, remember earlier with the sub-story where we weren't supposed to move in the loading screen? Again, very important that we don't move in this loading screen, because if you look at the mini-map in the bottom left as we load in, if you move in the actual loading screen by accident into any of these enemies, you have to fight all of those. So, as long as you don't move, everything's fine. I'm gonna go over to the elevator again. This should be the last time we come to the Millennium Tower? Yeah. But oh hey, there's another bomb in the Millennium Tower. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? And here he is, Kurohashi. He is basically undercover Jumon Mafia agent. He's gonna get not so subtly undercover Muscle Soda and Katana. He's very dead. You do still have to beat all the other enemies. He doesn't have a QTE. You just have to beat him. Rest. Unfortunately, as you can see, poor old Kaoru got shot. He got shot by Kurohashi. And then we have a big old tender moment between Kaoru and Kurohashi. And that's going to be the end of this chapter. But basically, that was... I want to say that one in particular was Kaoru's mother in the Jungwon massacre of all those years back. Kaoru was actually there. I can't remember if he was like working it or not, but he was there. He saw what was going on, and he told that lady and her kid to actually live on. That kid was not actually Kaoru. That kid was somebody else, a different survivor of the Jungwon Mafia. But the lady he told to run, he actually married her and had a kid with her who was Kaoru. So that's their big old plot all summed up. And what are we now? Chapter 14, are we? Yes. Okay, so we're 3 chapters away from the end. We don't actually have that much to go. Probably about 25 minutes or so. The Goryu is now... We're now basically getting to the final moments of the plot. You can see here the Goryu are on their way. Ryuichi Goda, he's basically bringing the Omi. We're going to be having a big old fight. Everybody's basically getting ready for war. We're going to have to go and get the Tojo ready for war. Rally behind Daigo, etc. Is this the part where we have to find Kaoru? I believe it is. Kaoru's gone missing. The only place she knows where to go really is Serena, so we're off to Serena. She's obviously taking things a little hard, considering that, you know, her dad just basically snuffed it in front of her, etc., blah, blah, blah. We're gonna get a bit more, like, relationship between her and Kiryu. Which one is this one? Was I supposed to replenish my muscle soda there? I was, wasn't I? Whoops. When can I route that in? I need to think for a second. Okay, I think we go back to... no, I think we go back there anyway. I think we should be fine. I'll have another opportunity to get the muscle soda. That is a big old whoops. I should have got some. We need it in this chapter, for sure. We only have 2 more opportunities to replenish that muscle soda, and this is one of them. We need it. We actually need it in this chapter, for certain. But basically, Kaoru says she's fine. She's not really fine. We get a phone call saying that Kazuki has finally woken up from surgery. Kazuki, the real Kazuki, not the fake Kazuki from all those chapters ago. And so we got to go over to Dokumoto's clinic. That's a fight spawn, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's got to be despawned. No muscle soda in the red ones, unfortunately, so we can't use that to get it early. I know where I'll actually flash muscle soda though. Should be fine. So Kazuki's awake. Whilst he was being held captive by the Jingwon Mafia, he actually overheard that there are, I believe it's 32 bombs around Kamurocho. Again, Ryuji's big old plan to make Kamurocho go up in a sea of flames. I don't see any fights here, that's good. So we're gonna have to go over to Tojo HQ, tell everybody that there's some big old problems coming. That right there was a Mahjong sub-story. Awesome game on Mahjong. Despite how it looks, this is actually the closest taxi to get. You're kind of sandwiched between two taxis, but this is still slightly closer to get when you factor out sub-stories that you have to run past the other way. So this is the big old rally point. Everyone's kind of getting behind Daigo. And you can see here that everyone's basically going to be gearing up for the war. We say that we should use the Tojo to find the bombs around Kamurocho. Kiryu says he'll hold off the Goryu himself, but there's actually a plan to be able to find those bombs, and that is with Old Purgatory. Unfortunately, we can't use the surveillance system by the florist in the Millennium Tower after the instant it just happened. Instead, we're going to go over to Purgatory, because that's where it was originally. That's where the florist was working out of that security system originally before he moved it over to the Millennium Tower. But of course, we know that Majima is operating Old Purgatory now in the florist's absence, and the florist has gone back to Purgatory since the chapter. Sorry, Daigo. Daigo with us. There's old Majima if you want to do some. Got no time for that in the speedrun, thank you very much. But basically, we're going to go over to the florist's old office. We've got a bit of downtime here just while we're running from point A to point B. And essentially, the florist basically says it's a shame that, like, you gotta be careful not to walk into NPCs like that. But the florist says that basically, like, it'd be a shame because his old system is obviously not up and running since leaving here. But actually, Majima kept the place running, so props to Majima. Get a nice comedic scene with Majima during all of this. See him in his happy face in the middle there. But the surveillance system still works, so we'll be able to use that to find all the bombs. However, in the meantime, all of our friends around the city are being attacked by the Goryu clan, who have invaded Kamurocho at long last. Threatening to for the entire game, they're finally here. So we're going to have to go and save a bunch of our friends. We're going to have to go and save the old bartender in Bacchus, for example. Or Bantam, sorry, not Bacchus anymore. Getting my Yakuza lore mixed up here. We're going to have to go and save Dokimoto, and we're also going to have to go and save Yuya over in Stardust. Yuxu sucks. Oh dear, there we go. So, off we go. We're basically going to get told that the Goryu are basically all around Kamurocho. This is where I need to get muscle soda. Don't use this accent. Oh, I actually did get muscle. How did I get muscle soda? How did I do that? What the heck? I'm confused. I didn't replenish that. What? Ah, whatever. We have full muscle soda now, which is good. We'll need to get it one more time in the next chapter as well. Like I said, I need to get it this chapter after all. So the Millennium Tower taxi point is the... Was the last one ready for Osaka Castle? I thought I used a load up. I guess that means I could use a load more during the Osaka Castle, like, siege. One of the things I said at the start of the run, if you missed it, is that this game came out at the end of August over here, so this run is still very much unoptimized. This is reasonably optimized for, like, obviously Muscle Soda is obviously what we want to use during the run because of the fact that it does so much damage. But, like, potential enemy routing, weapons especially, considering that weapons are such a big thing in this run, all are probably, like, a little unoptimized still for now. So, like, certain, like, upgrades and stuff like that, etc, etc. I think for the most part, it's mostly optimized in terms of what we want to do, barring figuring out any little extra things that other people can come up with. Because, like, for instance, with Yakuza 0 and Yakuza 6, I feel like those runs are pretty much optimized to the point of almost perfection. But with my Kiwami 1 run, I always said that it was, like, really unoptimized, and Lily in the chat actually set the new world record very, very recently, and actually has another one that I need to verify. I'll get on that in a bit. Lily might have to wait till tomorrow for it to be accepted, but I've seen it. But Lily actually took the Kiwami 1 route and basically did a complete optimization of it. So essentially where we're at in terms of the Yakuzas being optimized, 0 is fully optimized. I don't see 0 being... I only see 0 being beaten on PC. With same strats, I don't see there being any better strats for 0 because everything is, like, damn near perfect. Kiwami 1 now has a very, very optimized route, so that's pretty optimized. This one I'd say is about 75% of the way to being, like, fully optimized. 6 I'd say we're at about 90-95%. And then there's 3, 4, and 5, which... no thank you. At one point, when the PS4 version of 5 comes out over here, I'll be running on that version. I don't think anybody has run. That guy that I went for there, I went for intentionally because he's the annoying one out of this pack of enemies. But Yakuza 3, I don't think anybody has run that yet, which, that's interesting. I think Yakuza 3 is probably going to be a 4 to 6 hour run, probably nearer the 5 hour ballpark. Yakuza 4 has been run. I'm hoping that Quizpalm will put a PS4 leaderboard up for that, because that'd be great. He did his 4 run, I want to say, in about 4 or 5 hours. I apologise, I don't remember how long your run was. But that seemed pretty optimized apart from, like, a death here or there. So that should be an indication of what 4 is going to be like. 5, there's a run that's about 9 hours long. I think optimized 5 is going to be 7 to 9 hours. 5 is a beast. 5 is a disgusting, disgusting beast. And that's why I'm waiting for the PS4 version, which will run at 60 FPS. Because I don't want to run that game when it drops sub 20 at points. So for the most part, most of the Yakuzas are pretty much... Whoops. Most of the Yakuzas are pretty much optimized at this point. If you want to run Yakuza Dead Souls, make sure you do New Game Plus. Because any percent takes like 30-45 minutes longer and is a pain in the backside. The spin-offs, as far as they go, not aware of any Kenzan runs. I have done a meme run of Ishin, which for Western fans of the Yakuza series, if Ishin ever comes out in the West, which I don't expect it to, but if Ishin ever comes out in the West, you buy that game. Because Ishin is phenomenal. Like, you'll hear a lot of us fans who have imported Ishin say that the game is phenomenal. It's so good. It really is. So hopefully, we'll get Ishin. I don't think we will, but hopefully we will. So for this segment here, the reason why I'm like speaking about the other runs in the series is that we're basically in a time waste position. We have to literally wait about 2-3 minutes for Date to call us. So we're gonna go around town. We're gonna go and grab a weapon locker key real quick, and we're basically gonna do a little bit of housekeeping. in this little segment before we actually are able to carry on with the story. Oh my goodness, these spawns are horrible. We want to go get one locker key in particular to go get a big massive club. Does a lot of damage. Ishin is the one with the butt slap cutscene. It's amazing. It is genuinely amazing. Ishin actually like plays the most differently from any Yakuza game, but gets it so right. It's so good. Like I can't say enough how good Ishin is. I do hope it comes out over here. I just don't see it coming out over here. But if it does, please buy that game. It's so amazing. And if you want if you want a samurai game, it's the most amazing samurai game I've ever played in my life. It's so good. But yeah, for the most part, with Yakuza speedruns, you're basically locked in for a good few hours. And there are some people who still think, like, a run of this length is too long. If this run is too long for what you would consider a good speedrun for you, then the Yakuza game that I would recommend you pick up to speedrun is this one. And you might be wondering, Froob, you just said that this is, like, almost 3 hours long, and it's too long for me. Why are you suggesting this one? Well, Kiwami 2, as part of, obviously, Nagoshi, the series producer, his philosophy on remakes and stuff is adding value for money. Not just remaking it, but adding stuff that, like, players can get behind. And with regards to... You saw the Iron Club there. With regards to... Kiwami 2, give me a sec, I just need to... That on... You on... Discard some of these... Why can't I discard? What the heck? Why can't I discard my equipment there? Ah, there we go. I was doing it wrong, that's why. Gonna grab a few more things in the finale. But basically, Nagoshi's whole, like, thing about remakes is to add value for the player. So, in regards to Kiwami 2, this game, there is an added side story. It wasn't in the original Yakuza 2. There's basically a side story that is basically all about Majima-Goro. And it's pretty short. It's pretty short casually, but it's also pretty short speedrun-wise. We currently have 2 categories for it, which is any percent. The any percent run, which is literally 13 minutes. So if you want to, you know, get yourself into a Yakuza speedrun, and you want a nice, like, short, bite-sized run, that run right there is absolutely perfect. Because it's literally only 13 minutes. And as a side category to that, we have all street bosses. There's basically a whole bunch of these street bosses and fights that spawn at set intervals during that scenario, and literally the only requirement is to go kill them. Like, you decide when to do them, which ones to do in which order, and that run is about 35 minutes-ish? Like 30 to 35 minutes-ish? So even then, that's a nice smaller chunk, so if you were ever wanting to, like, get into Yakuza speedruns, that right there is quintessentially it's the shortest run. And it will be the shortest run. There's no way there'll be another Yakuza game that's that short. But if you're ever looking for, like, a really short Yakuza run, this game is perfect for it because of that. And the great thing about the Majima Saga run is that there's no upgrading. There's no equipment to worry about. So everyone is literally on the same level playing field. You don't have to worry about anything. No drinks, nothing like that. You literally just play as Majima-Goro and have fun. And it's a wonderful short little speedrun. So if you're ever interested in Yakuza speedruns, I highly suggest this. But as what's going on basically with this, we're about to waltz right into the finale. What's happened is that the Kaoru managed to get her hands on some data, and on that data revealed that she actually has a brother. A brother who goes by the name of, would you believe it, Ryuji Goda. Yep. So now you can see that there's a big old fateful confrontation waiting for us at the end of this. So Date's gonna look after Haruka this time. Thanks, Date. And we are going to jump right into the finale. This is one of the quicker finales in the entire Yakuza series, actually. But I saw you say earlier, Trainer, that you burnt out on 5. Same, actually. The only Yakuza game that I've ever taken a break from in the middle of playing was 5. And the interesting thing about Yakuza 5 is the size of Yakuza 5. No joke. Yakuza 5 is so big that it is the size of Yakuza 0 plus one other entire Yakuza game put together. Yakuza 5 is legitimately the size of 2 Yakuza games. That's how big Yakuza 5 is. It is a beast. That's why I'm not looking forward to speedrunning it, because I will eventually speedrun all the Yakuza games. But I am looking forward to JoJo's, which they say is going to have the same content level as Yakuza 0. A lot of fans as well will tell you that Yakuza 0 is amazing. It's perfectly it's got a perfect amount of content. The story goes at a perfect pace, etc. Very much looking forward to it. So basically, the entire Kamurocho becomes one giant set piece here. We can basically choose which ways we want to go. This way is the slightly faster way. Only ever so slightly. It doesn't really matter which one we choose, but I've routed for... Hey, remember when I said shotguns? I basically routed for this pathway, with all its weapons and stuff. I'm going to be grabbing a weapon along the way. It's this one. I wanted to grab that anyway. Dark Wood Sword. It's pretty good. Now remember we picked up that Iron Club. Let me show you why we picked up the Iron Club. And we only have these 10 muscle soda for the entire thing. So at some point I'm going to stop using muscle soda. But it's taking care of every single person in that one. Unfortunately, because he guarded, I was grabbing him this last guy. Shame, but happens. Another Dark Wood Sword here that I'm going to actually use. Remember when I said there were some NPCs in my Yakuza 6 run yesterday that just stand around like idiots and don't do anything? This guy. I'm just going to take care of him on the way through. By the way, all these guys have rocket launchers, so be careful. That guy shouldn't fire again too quick because he fired. These guys. Estimated time remaining about 5 to 10 minutes at most if things go wrong. I'd say probably about 7 minutes. At most. On the sword. Yep, sure. I'm gonna grab this on the way. It's Mufune's Kudachi. It's okay. It's a decent little dagger. I'm gonna actually put some of these on because they have more durability in my stuff. Keep that. More durability and more attack, more importantly. The weapons that actually are around here in the finale, they're almost endgame weapons. There's a baseball bat in the corner over there that actually has almost 100 power. But it's still bad because of the actual weapon pattern that it has. I might pick it up and use it, but I do have more than enough weapons now. Unfortunately, unlike Kim and Choi, they don't go down in one hit. So. Here's a whole bunch of dudes. More spawn in, the more you take out, so you want to start taking them out as fast as possible. I'm going to start using this. That's why we're going to use light attacks, because of the spread. Some guys with guns, you don't have to worry too much about them at first. They'll take a while before they actually start. Look how much damage they did. They pretty much just did half of my HP. Don't get hit by that dude with I'm actually taking a lot more damage than I usually do, and I don't know why. I'm being honest. I have got the chainmail equipped this time. Oh yeah, sometimes when you hit that guy specifically, his grenade in his hand explodes. Fun times. Ah, that guy too, huh? Sweet. Well, that pushed me next to this guy. Now, do you remember the man in black who we had fought 6 times and got crushed by a truck? Guess what? Not dead. Very much alive. This is why we have the Iron Club. Because it also stuns him. This guy is one of the big threats of already down to half HP again. Like, for different reasons, this run is as dangerous as the Yakuza 6 run. I wish it was a Streets of Rage elevator, it's unfortunately not. It's only the Man in Black. It'd be cool if it did like start dropping in enemies, but unfortunately not. Streets of Rage 4, by the way. Yo. So here's your basically finale bit. There's a guy there that sells weapons. They're very strong weapons, but they're very overpriced. But this is basically, the game tells you can now control the weather, which, that's a bit weird considering this is the point of no return. Here's Ryuji. I'm not happy with my HP at this point. I'm really not happy with my HP at this point, so I'm going to take a second here. This is not the... I had to get away. Good job. This is not the final boss, by the way. Just to let you know. It's a warning ahead time. And yes, we're doing more than a HP bar's worth of damage with each hit here currently. That's how strong these weapons and muscle soda are. Now we're not in heat mode. We get a nice unique heat mode move here, just for this fight. But again, not over yet. So, Ryuji basically bought Jin up here. We're at the top of the currently being built Kamurocho Hills. I'm not going to be able to sum everything up. There's a whole lot of plot dump and exposition that happens here. But basically, Kaoru makes a big emphatic, I don't want anyone else in my family to die, blah blah blah. However, turns out there's one other survivor of the Jingwon massacre. Daejin Kim, who you'll recognize from the very start of the game as Terran. He's not actually dead. He's also very annoying because he has a machine gun and he can just dodge everything for some reason. We want him dead fast. Get your sword or your club and hit him. And don't let him run away. He's doing it again. He's doing it again. I hate this fight. This fight can suck up all of your muscles. You don't want it. All I had to do was hit it once. Ow. That. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, right now we can. Don't fail that QTE. In the original, if you fail that QTE, it ends the fight. And for some reason, sometimes he doesn't get stuck and attacks you. So if you don't have a lot of HP, you die right there. Thanks, video game. Now we're low on health again. By the way, not the final fight again. For some reason it gets rid of your running thing afterwards. I will muscle soda actually, and put on Katana, because we're going to need it for this final fight. Okay, now final fight coming up. So get ready on time. It'll probably be about a minute till we get there. A whole bunch of stuff happens. We get shot. Ryuji's back. He gets shot. Big amazing final fight. An amazing piece of background music that you'll not hear. This fight, if it goes right, is going down. Oh, that's a bomb, by the way. In the background. That's a big one. So, would you believe it? We use a sword and muscle soda. That's more than 1 HP bar going down again, by the way. It's about almost 2. By the way, after this bit, do not miss. Do not let Ryuji grab you. If he does, it's almost an instant death. I'm staggered. Nice. And time is coming up on this QTE hit. Kiwami 2. And I have to skip the rest of these cutscenes because they mute the VOD.
All right, I stopped the timer. Is that okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's the default.
2:43:08. Good job, man.
For an unoptimized run, whilst I'm still recovering from a winter cold and in a marathon for the first time, I'm actually happy with that. Yeah, 150 in-game, that's pretty good. We don't actually, and I didn't mention this yesterday, we don't use the in-game time to measure it. We can get a slight feel for it with the in-game time, but the in-game time in these games are actually easily manipulatable, so that's why we don't use in-game time.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, for being the first time you've played this at a marathon, and like you've said, it's a brand new game, just come out this year in the Western release.
Yep.
Being 17 minutes underestimate, and as you said before, many things can go wrong. Dude, nothing seemed to go wrong there. That was a very clean playthrough.
Yeah, apart from the little bit that I had to deal with an emergency real quick, I was quite happy with that. Commentary could have done with work, but that's on me. As far as the actual run went, there's nothing in it that stood out that was too horrible, which is nice. And for the person asking in the chat, it's the Majima Saga here that's the 15-minute any percent run. It's kind of like a side story to the main story, but it's nice and 15 minutes, and there's also a 30-minute category for this one. So if you do feel like running a Yakuza game and you don't want the pressures of either a 3-hour run with this or 6, or a 9-hour run with Yakuza 5, thumbs up, you can go and join in on this one. But yeah, thank you very much for allowing me to showcase both Yakuza 6 and Yakuza Kiwami 2 in the marathon.
Froob, it's our pleasure, and thank you again for the submissions, man. You do a fantastic job, and every time I watch you do these, it's like, man, I really want to at least play these games. You make these games look and sound so exciting, man. I really need to find the time just to play through it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. The speedruns for these are interesting because it looks like we're just going through the games with ease, but there's a lot. They're very much like RPG runs in that there's a lot of AI manipulation that we're trying to do in the background, especially with the older engine. And we're trying to manipulate the AI to do certain things to group up, and then obviously it does make it a little easy with stuff like the muscle soda giving you a 60% attack buff, but you still obviously, as you saw, have to be careful because you can just die in 3 hits at the end of the game. So they're actually trickier than they look. And then if you actually run on the hardest difficulty setting, Legend, you only go back, when you die, you only go back to your last hard save. No checkpoints.
Oh, man.
They're great. These are crazy runs. They're amazing.
All right, Froob, do you have anything else you'd like to shout out, or links, or anything like that? Discords, things like that?
I keep getting asked about whether there's a Yakuza speedrun Discord. There isn't. I really should make one. So there's nothing like that. If you've got any questions about any of the Yakuza runs, if you want to, if you look at these runs and say, okay, I'd rather start with Yakuza 0, for instance, come and speak to me or any of the other recent Yakuza runners. And this goes for any of the games. Our community, even though we don't have a Discord, which I will probably actually set up at some point soon, we're all nice, we're all great people. Lily has just done a complete optimization, like I said, of Yakuza Kiwami. So if you want to run Yakuza Kiwami, go speak to Lily because that run is insane. For 0, 6, Kiwami 2, I'm happy to just dump info and go through the little nitty-gritty stuff and all the details on how to run them. And yeah, we don't have that many runners, but we got really nice runners. We got a really nice community. So yeah.
All right, man. Froob, again, thank you. I really appreciate your time, man. I hope you feel better moving forward throughout the week. I hope this didn't kick your butt too much.
Thank you very much. It was a little rough. I can feel my throat going again, but it should be fine. I'm just going to rest over the next few days and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. And coming up next on Blast the Process 2, we have a double game block brought to us by Berlin Dude 1, Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, and Snow Brothers Nick and Tom. So I'm going to send you off to the splash screen, enjoy some Sega music, and we'll be right back.